Chapter 590. A stone pillar that towered into the sky stood towering at the center of Big Dipper City. The stone pillar was completely pitch black and covered in crimson gold markings. The crimson gold markings extended from the bottom of the stone pillar all the way to the sky. Big Dipper Heavenly Stone. Is this the Big Dipper Heavenly Stone that Elda's senior sister mentioned? When night falls and the 7 stars in the sky light up, the Big Dipper Heavenly Stone will also light up. The Big Dipper Secret Realm will also descend above Big Dipper City at that time. Ning Tian's gaze landed on the Big Dipper Heavenly Stone and narrowed his eyes slightly. It seems that this Big Dipper Heavenly Stone is very mysterious. The two women's gazes also landed on the towering stone pillar. Yes, it's mysterious. Ning Tian nodded. Looking at the reddish gold patterns on the stone pillar, he suddenly had a bold idea. He couldn't help but murmur, could the reddish gold patterns on the Big Dipper Heavenly Stone be a formation? If I can comprehend it. If others heard this, they would probably think that Ning Tian was a lunatic. The Big Dipper Secret Realm was said to be a heavenly Tao treasure. The Big Dipper Heavenly Stone was the key to opening the Big Dipper Secret Realm. Who would dare to mess around with something that was related to the heavenly Tao? However, Ning Tian dared. Sorry, but he could do whatever he wanted without destiny. Honey, wait for me. Ning Tian pulled the two women to a deserted alley. From here, he could see the Big Dipper Heavenly Stone in its entirety. After saying this to the two women, he immediately activated his divination technique in an attempt to pry into the Big Dipper Heavenly Stone's mystery. Luo Wuqing and Su Yueyao watched quietly from the side. They didn't ask or disturb him. Light of divination appeared in front of Ning Tian. He dragged one light after another onto the Big Dipper Heavenly Stone. Divination of divination. After a long time, a formation? Divination suddenly appeared. Ning Tian raised his brows slightly. Just as he was about to fully comprehend the formation, the light in front of him gradually dimmed. This damn fortune teller. His divination technique isn't good. It seems that I have to improve his divination technique after I reach the Heavenly God Realm. But fortunately, Ning Tian had memorized the general appearance of the array formation. Now, all we need to do is wait for night to fall and the secret realm will open. Ning Tian waved his hand and the dimming light before him dissipated. Then, he pulled the two women out of the alley and headed towards Big Dipper City. Originally, he wanted to find an inn in Big Dipper City and do some serious cultivation while there was still some time before nightfall. But in next to no time, an ink-colored stone stele at the center of Big Dipper City attracted the attention of the group. This is the Big Dipper Secret Realm's previous champions? Luo Wuqing's beautiful eyes looked towards the black stone tablet. Oh! Ning Tian looked over curiously. However, his expression soon became a little strange. The more he looked at the black stone tablet, the more he felt that something was amiss. The 9th time, Yishuang. The 10th time, Dustless. The 11th time, Wenqing. The 17th time, Mu Xianqing. When Ning Tian read out the familiar name on the black stone tablet, even Luo Wuqing and Su Yueyao were surprised. Since the 9th time on the black stone tablet, the first seat of the Big Dipper Secret Realm had been occupied by the people of the Heavenly Palace. The cultivators who entered the secret realm with Senior Brother and the others are really pitiful. Ning Tian sympathized with those cultivators. It couldn't be helped. Who could be stronger than the 9 supremes of the Heavenly Palace at that time? At this moment, Su Yueyao cast a playful look at him and said, Hee, hubby, if you don't leave your name on it, wouldn't it be very embarrassing? Ning Tian was speechless. The hell? That seemed to make sense. If he didn't leave his name on it, wouldn't it be very embarrassing? Although he really didn't care about his reputation since he couldn't eat it, he still had to do his best. It seems that I have to get serious. Ning Tian spread his hands. He really didn't want to get the Heavenly Tao treasure after leaving his name. He just didn't want to embarrass the Heavenly Palace. Yes, that was it. But I didn't expect there to be 8 people before Senior Sister. But I can't see their names clearly. I can vaguely see their names, but they are in a blurry state. It should be that the black stone tablet doesn't want others to see the real names on it. Ning Tian murmured. In addition to Yishuang and the others' names, there were 8 more names on the black stone tablet. But there was a ball of brilliance circulating on those names, as if deliberately not letting others see their real names. No, rather than saying it was deliberate, it should be said that it was deliberate. It was deliberately protecting the names. Hey, do you see the first name on the stone tablet? At this moment, more and more cultivators gathered around the Big Dipper square. Their eyes fell on the black stone tablet, and they couldn't help but discuss it. The 9 Supremes of the Heavenly Palace all left their names on the stone tablet. As expected of the previous heavenly god bodies, they are too strong. Because of this, those cultivators back then were depressed. They are still somewhat unconvinced in their hearts. What can they do if they are unconvinced? Can't they still hold it in? Rather than discussing the 9 Supremes of the Heavenly Palace, I am more curious about the first name. That name can actually be displayed. But this name is really strange. Daoist Zhang something? A chubby cultivator looked at the highest point of the black stone tablet and couldn't help but mutter, "Shh, lower your voice. What if this existence is still alive? Be careful." Hearing those words, the cultivator next to him immediately pulled his sleeve and reminded him. Upon hearing these cultivators' words, Ning Tian finally noticed that there was another name at the top of the ink-black stone tablet. This name seemed to have been forcefully squeezed onto the tablet, unlike the other names that were protected by the light below. But perhaps because of the passage of time, these big words were somewhat blurred. Only the 3 words, Daoist Zhang, could be seen. This is strange. Why is this name not protected? Ning Tian frowned. A trace of doubt flashed in his eyes. Boom. Right at this moment, a loud explosion sounded in the sky. Everyone looked up. They saw a golden floating battleship slowly sailing out of the void. There was a huge, long character on the bow of the battleship. It's the Long family from the Western Wilderness Starfield. I heard the Long family is the richest family in the Western Wilderness Starfield. It is said that this battleship is made of golden spirit stones. Even their toilets are made of golden spirit stones. I really want to take a bite to see if it's true. Around them, there were endless discussions. The Long family from the Western Wilderness Starfield? Ning Tian raised his eyebrows. He silently watched from the side with the 2 girls. Under the gaze of countless people in the Big Dipper Square, the dragon-headed battleship slowly landed in the Big Dipper City. A young man slowly walked down from the battleship. Behind him was a middle-aged man. Aoer, you must fight for our Long family. You are the 10th generation genius of our Long family. This time, no matter what, you must take down the Big Dipper secret realm. The middle-aged man looked at Long Ao. Then, he looked at the black stone tablet in the middle of the Big Dipper square and said earnestly to Long Ao, "Father, don't worry." Long Ao nodded. Aoer, you must succeed. The Long family must regain their face. Right at this moment, a slightly old black-haired old man walked out from the dragon-headed battleship. "Grandfather." Long Ao quickly bowed. "Yes, the Long family will rely on you this time. Wash away the shame. Our Long family can definitely do it." Another voice sounded. A golden-robed old man with a walking stick walked out. His pair of old eyes looked at the black stone tablet angrily. "Great-grandfather, please slow down." Long Ao's forehead was already dripping with cold sweat. "Slow down my ass. Ignore him. Aoer, this time, you must leave your name on the stone tablet. It's great-great-grandfather. Cough cough. Yes, our Aoer can restore the Long family's name. Great-great-great-grandfather, why are you here as well?" Long Ao was sweating profusely. For a time, there were already 6 people who walked out from the void ship, including Long Ao. What kind of strange send-off is this? Seeing this scene, Ning Tian frowned slightly. The 2 girls beside him also felt that it was strange. Wasn't it just a classic case of an elder sending a junior into the Big Dipper secret realm? Why did it look so strange? Just as Ning Tian was dumbfounded. Another deep and old voice sounded from the dragon-headed battleship. "It can't be? There's more?" Ning Tian raised his brows and looked over. He saw from the dragon-headed battleship, a bald old man slowly walked out. He was holding 3 wooden boxes in his arms. Great-great-great-grandfather, please slow down. Don't scatter the ashes of the ancestors. Seeing this scene, Long Ao was sweating profusely. He hurriedly walked over and supported the old man. Ashes? What the F***ck? This old man was holding 3 urns in his arms? Slow my ass. Brad Ao, let this old man tell you. It's not easy for those bastards to not come today. You must leave a name for my Long family. This old man was also a hot-tempered guy. He glared at Long Ao and didn't care about the urn in his arms at all as he scattered some ashes. Those bastards? At the side, Ning Tian was confused as she listened. In front of him, in front of the dragon-headed battleship, there were exactly 10 people, including the 3 urns. Sigh. At this moment, a sigh came from the side, and the surrounding cultivators began to discuss. The Long family of this western wasteland star region is truly miserable. Every generation of Long family patriarch is a genius of their generation, but unfortunately, after entering the Big Dipper secret realm, TSK, don't mention how miserable it is. Who knows what they experienced in the Big Dipper secret realm? Every failed genius of the Long family ended up staying in the heavenly god realm. Hearing the discussions of the surrounding cultivators, Ning Tian seemed to understand what had happened. In an instant, his sympathetic gaze landed on the group of people from the Long family. It seemed that this trip was going to be wasted. This Long family was simply too miserable. Originally, every generation of patriarch was a genius. This should be a fortunate thing. But, coincidentally, they met the previous generations of heavenly god body in the Big Dipper secret realm, and this time, it was even worse. Not only did he meet a heavenly god body, he even met a heavenly god body that was using cheats, this time. Without those bastards from the heavenly palace, you must clear the name of my Long family. F***ck. 9 times. Every time. I meet those dogs from the heavenly palace. F***ck. This old man is so angry. The hot-tempered old man who was hugging the 3 urns cursed loudly. Due to his agitated words, the white ashes in the urns scattered everywhere, causing the surrounding cultivators to tremble in fear. It's said that, this time, there are already people from the heavenly palace who have come. They are called the heavenly palace's ancestral masters. At this moment, a weak voice sounded. Long Ao raised his head and said silently, Old man Long family's urn, wah? What? Hearing this, the hot-tempered old man's expression immediately changed. A hint of fear flashed across his eyes. It was obvious that he was afraid of being beaten up by the people from the heavenly palace. Aoer, where did you get the news? The middle-aged man frowned. The few members of the Long family all had grave expressions. Having been dominated by the heavenly palace's heavenly god body, they naturally knew how terrifying it was. Oh, just now, when we were outside the Big Dipper domain, a despicable young man told me. He even gave me a portrait of the heavenly palace's ancestral master. As he spoke, he took out a portrait from his bosom. F***ck. The moment he saw the portrait, Ning Tian cursed in his heart. F***ck this. Are you sure this portrait wasn't drawn on his face? Immediately, in a split second, Ning Tian took out the ice silkworm mask that he had not used for a long time and put it on his face. In a second, he turned into Ning Shui. F***ck. 8th senior brother tricked me. He cursed in his heart. The despicable young man that Long Ao was talking about was definitely Yi Wuyo. Because he didn't say anything. He was very familiar with this portrait. When he first came to the heavenly palace, Yi Wuyo had once asked him to draw a portrait. He even said that he would use his handsome portrait to sell to a rich woman in the divine realm and then split the money with him. So, he was waiting to use it to trick him. Didn't we just see the person in the portrait? I think we've seen it before. At this moment, the eyes of the surrounding cultivators all unconsciously turned towards Ning Tian's group. After all, Ning Tian's group was simply too dazzling. Not to mention the 2 beauties, there was also a beast-eared girl. Oh, that's not right. that decent person wouldn't notice? Naturally, he noticed Ning Tian, who was beside him. Why did he become ugly? Could it be that we're seeing things? F***ck. Why is this brat so smelly? How can he have such a beautiful woman accompanying him? Amidst the discussions, there was a trace of anger and dissatisfaction. Heavenly Palace's ancestral master? Are the people from the Heavenly Palace here as well? At this moment, a deep voice rang out. Following that, hundreds of Ancestor God Realm cultivators appeared on the Big Dipper Square. The bearded, middle-aged man in the lead swept his gaze across them, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Since the people from the Heavenly Palace have appeared, then our Big Dipper Anti-Heavenly Palace organization can be activated again. Everyone, do you still remember our slogan? The Big Dipper secret realm can be lost, but the people from the Heavenly Palace must lose. Woo-woo. We've finally waited for the people from the Heavenly Palace. We can't beat the big one, but we can at least bully the small one for a while, right? Woo-woo. I want revenge. Last time in the Big Dipper secret realm, not only did that Yi Wuyo defeat me, he even humiliated me by flicking my little brother. Woo-woo-woo. This time I'm going to bounce back. You don't know. That Pei Hu from the Heavenly Palace. The last time this old man met him, I was still a fatty. King chased this old man for 3,000 miles just to tell this old man that it's not good to be fat. Great. Now this old man is as skinny as a monkey. Woo-woo and Mu Xianqing. She's simply a she-devil. She fed me a great tonic pill, and I'm still full of energy even now. I'm dying of laughter. My nosebleed is endless. The surroundings were filled with wailing and howling. Upon seeing this scene, Ning Tian fell into silence. He turned his head to look at the cultivator beside him and asked, "Fellow Taoist, what's going on? It can't be, right? Is there anyone who hasn't heard of the Big Dipper Anti-Heavenly Palace organization? Do you think that there are so many of us here to fight for the treasures in the Big Dipper secret realm? There's only one of them. Hee. We're here to watch the show and join the Anti-Heavenly Palace organization while we're at it. Think about it. Who are the people from the Heavenly Palace? They're all heavenly god physiques. If you don't beat him up while he's weak now, why are you waiting for him to get up? Think about it. How great would it be to beat up someone from the Heavenly Palace?" Hearing Ning Tian's words, the fat cultivator couldn't help but chuckle. Hearing this, Ning Tian was actually speechless. The sense of immersion was very strong. He even wanted to beat himself up. At this time, he finally understood why his senior sister and the others didn't want him to expose his identity. What the hell? If his identity was exposed, not to mention obtaining the treasures, there would be people chasing after him wherever he went. These guys were very angry with the people from the Heavenly Palace, but they couldn't take revenge. Therefore, they could only target the Big Dipper secret realm. After all, the strength outside was too strong to beat, so they could only target the small ones. The great villain of the Heavenly Palace. The Heavenly Palace's actions were the fault of the ancestral master. F***ck. Ning Tian was going crazy in his heart. GG great-grandfather. Don't worry, it's just the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. Since he can come here, it means that his strength doesn't exceed the Heavenly God Realm. In that case, I still have a chance. Long Ao raised his head. A hint of confidence flashed across his eyes. Sigh. Are you stupid? That's what we thought back then. The grumpy old man from the Long family was so angry that he was trembling. The urn in his arms shook again. You're young and don't know how strong the Heavenly Palace is. You mistook yourself for a king. There was only one word difference between Long Ao and Long Outyen, but the difference was like heaven and earth. Ancestral master? At this moment, a probing voice with a trace of uncertainty sounded. Swish. In an instant, hearing the two words ancestral master, everyone thought of the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. All of their gazes immediately turned towards that direction. They saw a white-haired old man slowly walking over. Behind him were two middle-aged men. One had a serious face, while the other had a pale face. It was obvious that he was weak. Hearing these two words, Ning Tian frowned. Who was calling him out in front of so many people? Wasn't this trying to harm him? He turned around. He saw three familiar faces. Tian, the old emperor, and old Su. These three guys. Are they here to harm me? Feeling the malicious gazes around him, Ning Tian had already thought of a way to escape. Although he wasn't afraid of trouble, there was no need to cause so much trouble. If it really didn't work, he would just scam them all. Ancestral Master, why did you become ugly? Tian and the other two walked over, not noticing the gazes around them at all. Although Ning Tian was wearing the ice silkworm mask, Old Su and Di Wuji both knew Luo Wuqing and Su Yueyao. Moreover, the mascot was lying on the side. Looking at the Void God Emperor's enthusiastic appearance, Ning Tian really wanted to beat him up. Old Su, why wasn't he so enthusiastic normally? Haha, Ancestral Master, we haven't seen each other for a few days. I really miss you. I guess that you would be here, Ancestral Master. After all, wherever there are benefits, Ancestral Master will always be around. You are Tian. Old Su walked over enthusiastically as he spoke to Ning Tian. However, before he could finish his sentence, as soon as the word heavenly came out of his mouth, he saw a sandbag-sized fist enlarging in his eyes. F***CK. When did the Ancestral Master change to such a way of welcoming people? A cry of surprise. Under everyone's gaze, the Void God Emperor turned into a meteor and flew out of the Big Dipper city. Fellow Taoist, may I ask, which force are you from? At this moment, the bearded middle-aged man from the Big Dipper Anti-Heaven Palace organization looked over. His sharp eyes landed on Ning Tian's body, and a hint of suspicion flashed across his eyes. The more he looked at Ning Tian, the more suspicious he became. That guy just now who looked weak called this young man Ancestral Master. Moreover, there was also a heavenly something. It was very likely that he was the Heavenly Palace's Ancestral Master. For a moment, all the surrounding cultivators, including Long Ao, looked at Ning Tian, waiting for his answer. Ahaha. It seems that everyone wants to get to know me. However, Ning Tian had already thought of a countermeasure. Naturally, he couldn't fight these guys head-on. There were several Heavenly God Realm cultivators here. He wasn't that stupid. If he could choose to fight head-on under such circumstances, then his brain must not be too good. I am Ning Shuai, the Ancestral Master of the Heaven Demolishing Gate. Recently, I've been holding a promotion. Demolish one and get one free. If we get along well, we can demolish one and get two free. Ning Tian looked at the surrounding cultivators with a smile and said. Hearing these words, the surroundings were silent. What was the name of this ugly guy? Ning Shuai? They suddenly felt that they had been insulted. And this heaven-demolishing gate, what the hell was that? They had never heard of it. Fellow Taoist Ning, what is this heaven-demolishing gate? The bearded middle-aged man asked with a frown. Haha, you guys don't understand, right? Heaven-demolishing gate is a sect built in accordance with the times. It is a sect built to serve the vast number of cultivators. Ning Tian looked at the group of cultivators with a serious expression. Everyone, think about it. If the old doesn't go, the new won't come. Only by demolishing it can we build a better one. Although I feel that he is talking nonsense, I feel that what he said is very reasonable. I think so too. The surrounding cultivators sucked in a breath of air. They were stunned by Ning Tian's words. Seeing this scene, Luo Wuqing and Su Yueyao couldn't help but laugh in their hearts. Another group of pitiful fellows who were fooled by Ning Tian. Demolishing heaven, demolishing gate. What do you mean by demolishing it? Long Ao narrowed his eyes and looked over. Oh, fellow Taoist, do you want me to give it a try? But there are no buildings nearby that can be demolished. If this Big Dipper city is demolished, I'm afraid it will anger the heavens, right? Ning Tian raised his brows slightly and pretended to be in a difficult position. Try it. Try it on this dragon head warship. Long Ao said indifferently. Oh, this is what fellow Taoists said. Ning Tian only wanted to get rid of this group of fellows as soon as possible and then study the Big Dipper secret realm. After hearing Long Ao's words, he glanced at the ceiling flame Lion King and said indifferently, Sha Tian, demolish. Roar. Sha Tian, who hadn't demolished his home for a long time, suddenly had his eyes lit up. Ao Wu. The word sky demolishing appeared. This, what the hell is this? The surrounding cultivators were shocked. This, looking at the word demolishing above his head, Long Ao's face changed slightly. Don't worry, the dragon head warship is sturdy. The grumpy old man holding the urn waved his hand. Before he could finish his words, the word sky demolishing fell. Boom. In an instant. When the word demolishing fell, accompanied by a loud boom, Long Ao and the others were already standing on a pile of ruins. Even the clothes on their bodies were shattered, but they were completely fine. With a scream, Long Ao and the others were instantly dumbfounded. What a strong, destructive power. This person is definitely not the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. The Heavenly Palace's ancestral master wouldn't be so ugly, and how could he use such a wicked trick? The surrounding discussions continued. You shocked all the cultivators with your ugliness and wickedness. At this moment, the system's voice rang in his mind. Shocked by your ugliness and wickedness. Hearing this, the corner of Ning Tian's mouth couldn't help but twitch fiercely. Reward, Trap Master. You can set up all kinds of traps, just like a trapped beast. At this moment, in his mind, the system's voice rang. Trap Master? What the hell is this? Hearing the system's voice in his mind, Ning Tian frowned slightly. There was such a reward? Everyone, can you believe my identity as the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master now? In the future, if you have anything to demolish, you can come to me. I can help you demolish your ancestral tombs. I have been a professional home demolisher for 100 years, a professional team, worthy of your trust. Hearing this, the surrounding cultivators felt that something was wrong. On the side, Long Ao looked at Ning Tian with shining eyes. That move just now was so strong. I want to learn it. So it's really the Heavenly Palace's fellow Taoist. I'm Quang Sha. Sorry for the disrespect. The bearded middle-aged man bowed slightly to Ning Tian and smiled apologetically. Haha. No problem, no problem. In the future, if fellow Taoist Quang Sha wants to demolish your own home, just call me. I'm familiar with this matter. Ning Tian laughed. Then, a flash of light flashed in his eyes as he looked at Quang Sha. That's right. I wonder if fellow Taoist Quang Sha's Big Dipper Anti-Heaven Palace is still short of people? Oh. Hearing this, the corner of Quang Sha's mouth couldn't help but raise slightly. Fellow Taoist Ning, you also want to make a move against the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master? Of course. You guys don't know, but I once met that dog coin Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. He actually said that I'm not as handsome as him. Since then, I've been very unhappy with him. Now that I have a chance to beat him, I naturally want to join. Ning Tian said with a face full of hatred. Buffed. Hearing this, Luo Wuqing and Su Yueyao laughed in their hearts. Husband is indeed worthy of being husband. He's really getting more and more skilled at scolding himself. Hearing handsome Ning's words and looking at his ugly face, Quang Sha fell into silence. It seems that the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master is not wrong. Forget it. Forget it. If there's one more person, there's one more combat power. Okay. Then, welcome fellow Taoist Ning to join. Quang Sha chuckled. Hearing this, Ning Tian's mouth raised into a kind smile. That's great. Since you guys want to beat me, then I'll break into the enemy's inner circle first and see who dies first. Author's words, 7,000 words. I still owe 3,000 words. Sorry, I haven't moved for thousands of days. It's too tiring and weak. If you still have 3,000 words, I'll update 7,000 words in the next 3 days. I'll slowly make up for it. Also, how do you feel about this chapter? Tell me how you feel. I'm afraid that I didn't write it well. Chapter 591. However, at this moment, Quang Sha did not realize the seriousness of the matter at all. He was naturally very happy to have Ning Shui join them. Although he did not know Ning Shui's true strength, he could see how powerful he was from the golden light in the sky. If he had used that move on the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master, wouldn't it have caused a lot of damage? Haha, on behalf of the Big Dipper Anti-Heavenly Palace, I welcome fellow Taoist Ning to join us. Thinking of this, Kuang Sha's lips curled into a smile. Haha. You're welcome, you're welcome. I believe that if we work together, the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master will definitely be beaten to a pulp. Ning Tian laughed, looking like a cunning old fox. Beat the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master until he looks for his teeth all over the ground. Everyone, think about that scene. No matter how powerful the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master is in the future, when you meet him in the future, you can tell him that you were beaten by me. Hearing this, the surrounding cultivators were stunned for a moment. Wouldn't that scene be great? The eyes of the surrounding cultivators lit up as they suddenly came to a realization. That's right. That would be great. If they succeeded, they could brag about it for the rest of their lives. I think what fellow Taoist Ning said makes sense. Thinking about that scene, it's simply awesome, right? Ning Tian looked at the group of cultivators with a smile on his face. There was no need to mention how amiable his smile was. He was simply a very kind person. That's right. What the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master said makes sense. The group of cultivators nodded excitedly. Hee. If we catch the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master, I want revenge. I want to flick his brother. I want to catch him and run for 30,000 miles. I want him to become a white-boned demon. Hee. I want him to eat my brother. A fat cultivator spoke with an excited expression. However, before he could finish speaking, the surrounding gazes all turned towards him in unison. Ah, shocking. Fellow Taoist, something's wrong with you. What are you thinking about? What I'm saying is, let him eat my younger brother's smelly socks. My younger brother once met that slut, Yi Wuyo, in the Big Dipper secret realm. After that, he, Wu, don't mention it. When I talk to him now, I feel like he ate shit. The fat cultivator wanted to cry but had no tears. The crowd sighed. Then when I catch the Heavenly Palace Patriarch, I'll strip him naked and freeze him in an ice cube to avenge the humiliation of my ancestor back then. A cultivator holding an urn of ashes indignantly expressed his thoughts. Then I will also, and me, let's get rid of the patriarch and wash away our shame. In the surroundings, the sounds of discussion were incessant. Everyone's eyes flashed with a ferocious light. At this moment, Ning Tian finally understood. Aside from the pinnacle forces, the cannon fodder, oh, no. Most of the cultivators were here to avenge their previous humiliation. They had either come on their own or to bring the ashes of their ancestors with them. In short, he just wanted to cause trouble. No wonder Senior Sister and the others didn't want him to expose his identity. These fellows would be difficult to deal with in a short period of time. Most importantly, they would seriously drag him down, and it was very likely that others would snatch the opportunity away. Drag me down? The corners of Ning Tian's mouth curled up slightly, but he had an idea in his heart. Not only did he have to infiltrate the enemy's ranks, he also had to play a bigger game, as expected of the patriarch. I'm convinced. Di Tian, who knew Ning Tian's true identity, couldn't help but sigh. Not only could the patriarch scold him without any scruples, he even King brought others to beat him up. Seeing this scene, Di Tian was very immersed in it. In his mind, he had already imagined himself joining the Big Dipper anti-heaven palace and stepping on the patriarch. However, when he thought of Ning Tian's kind face, his body trembled. He quickly stroked his beard and muttered, cough, cough, this is a sin, a sin. Hee, how interesting. Sui Weiyao giggled. Her pair of fox ears swayed, and her beautiful eyes were full of splendor. Obviously, she was planning to pull Luo Wuqing to watch a good show. Fellow Taoist Ning, what are you writing down? Kuang Sha walked over and saw that Ning Tian had unknowingly taken out a pen and paper from his arms. After writing something on it, he couldn't help but feel a little puzzled. Oh, this? Ning Tian raised his head and smiled brightly. I'm writing down what punishment each of them wants. Punishment? Kuang Sha was stunned. Yes, how to deal with the patriarch of the Heavenly Palace. I'm afraid I've forgotten. Ning Tian revealed a harmless smile, and his hands didn't stop moving. I see. Fellow Taoist Ning is thoughtful. Hearing this, Kuang Sha couldn't help but laugh. He didn't expect handsome Ning to be so concerned about this matter. It seemed that he also hated the patriarch of the heavenly palace very much. With this handsome Ning here, this trip may be successful. Seeing the atmosphere stirred up by Ning Tian, Huang Sha narrowed his eyes slightly and couldn't help but murmur in his heart, moreover, I can't say that this handsome Ning is ugly. The patriarch of the heavenly palace only said one sentence to him, and he already hates him so much. I can't easily offend him. Haha, it's okay. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Hearing this, Ning Tian said with an honest face. That's right. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. So many people wanted to beat him. If he didn't remember them one by one, wouldn't it be embarrassing if he punished the wrong person? As for the violent beating, it was the patriarch of the heavenly palace. What did it have to do with the patriarch of the Tianma cult? Everyone, let's shout the slogan again. Defeat the patriarch and wash away the shame. Ning Tian looked at the group of cultivators on the Big Dipper Square and shouted loudly, perfectly replacing the 8 true words. Defeat the patriarch and wash away the shame. The hundreds of cultivators of the Big Dipper Anti-Sky Palace organization followed suit and shouted. They could even see the scene of them beating the younger brother of the Heavenly Palace Patriarch. It was simply exhilarating. Bullsh *T. How dare you? How dare you speak ill of our patriarch? At this moment, a loud shout was heard. 3 silhouettes appeared in the sky. One of them was a man and a woman. They were simply a match made in heaven. The man was holding a humanoid creature in his arms. Upon closer look, it was old Su who had been sent flying out of the Big Dipper city by Ning Tian. Interesting. You guys want to attack the patriarch? These 2 people were the Dragon Pool Monster King and Phoenix Feather Monster King who had come from the Monster God Realm to participate in the Big Dipper Mystic Realm. Upon closer look, there was a bump on the head of the Dragon Pool Monster King. Originally, he and Phoenix Feather Monster King were about to enter the Big Dipper city, but a human-shaped piece of trash fell from the sky, instantly stunning the Dragon Pool Monster King. Naturally, the Dragon Pool Monster King was extremely displeased to see a human throwing trash in broad daylight. He originally wanted to come in and argue with someone. However, as soon as he arrived at the Big Dipper Square, he heard that someone wanted to defeat the patriarch. As the patriarch's little fan, the Dragon Pool Monster King and Phoenix Feather Monster King naturally couldn't take it lying down. Patriarch? Oh, you know the patriarch of the Heavenly Palace? Mad Killer's gaze fell on the Dragon Pool Monster King and 9 Phoenix Monster King in the sky. A monster? The 3 of them looked at each other as if they would start a fight at any moment. Of course I know. The Dragon Pool Monster King snorted. However, before he could finish his words, Ning Tian, who was still holding a small notebook on the ground, moved and directly came to the 2 of them. He hooked their heads with a big hook. The 2 of them were stunned when their heads were hooked. Old Su, who was clamped by the Dragon Pool Monster King, also fell heavily to the ground after a scream. Ha ha ha, fellow Taoist Mad Killer, they are talking about me. I'm the patriarch of the Heavenly Palace. Ning Tian laughed loudly. You are? Seeing the ugly man coming towards them, the Dragon Pool Monster King and Phoenix Feather Monster King immediately frowned. They wanted to circulate their monster chi and send this guy flying. However, Ning Tian smiled gently. It's me. Remember to give me a good review for the business last time? I demolished the land of the 3 major clans of the Dragon Clan. It really tired me out. Ning Tian looked at the 2 of them with a smile. Huh. The Dragon Pool Monster King and Phoenix Feather Monster King were stunned. The monster chi in their bodies seemed to have seen something terrifying at this moment. Looking at the ugly man in front of them with a kind smile on his face, they instantly understood something. This guy, it's the patriarch. Ah, yes, 5-star review. I'll definitely give you a good review next time. The Dragon Pool Monster King came back to his senses and saw Ning Tian constantly winking at him. He immediately reacted and said repeatedly. Hearing this, Mad Killer's tightly knitted brows relaxed. So, you are calling me the patriarch of the Heavenly Palace. Fellow Taoist Ning Shuai, it's a misunderstanding. Mad Killer chuckled. Yes, after all, this patriarch is not that patriarch. Ning Tian let go of the two of them. His plan could not be messed up by the Dragon Pool Monster King. At the side, Phoenix Feather Monster King blushed when Ning Tian let go of her. Looking at Ning Tian beside her, a hint of admiration flashed across her beautiful eyes. Looking at the patriarch's expression, she, who had always been smart, quickly understood that this group of people in front of her was about to be cheated. I didn't expect fellow Taoist Ning's Heavenly Palace business to expand so widely. You even accepted the business of the Monster Clan. Mad Killer looked at Ning Tian. Of course, if fellow Taoist Mad Killer wants, after the Big Dipper secret realm ends, I will give you one for free. I guarantee that I will tear down your house clean. Ning Tian looked very generous. This Mad Killer was speechless. If it was another business, he would definitely be very happy to be given one for free. However, this home demolition service, thank you for your kindness, fellow Taoist Ning, but there's no need. My house is fine, Mad Killer said with a black face. Then, he looked at the hundreds of cultivators around him and said slowly, everyone, it's getting late. The Big Dipper secret realm is about to open. Let's move first and discuss a plan to deal with the Heavenly Palace's patriarch. Oh, a plan to deal with the Heavenly Palace's patriarch? Hearing this, Ning Tian's eyes lit up and the corners of his mouth lifted slightly. Count me in? Of course. Fellow Taoist Ning has already joined our organization. Of course, you can come with us. Mad Killer agreed readily. At a glance, he could tell that Ning Tian had a lot of wicked ideas. Wicked tricks would definitely have a miraculous effect on the Heavenly Palace's patriarch. All right, Ning Tian's eyes flashed. Then, he looked at Luo Wuqing and said to her, Wife, you guys go find an inn with Demon King Jufeng first. I'll be back soon. Okay. Hearing this, Luo Wuqing nodded obediently. Seeing this scene, the group of people looked at him with jealous eyes. Sigh. Mad Killer sighed. Fellow Taoist Ning, you're really envious of others for being able to marry such a beautiful wife. Haha. Fellow Taoist Mad Killer, if you were as handsome as me, you could do it too. Ning Tian laughed. There was silence. Looking at Ning Tian's ugly face and hearing his words, the corners of the surrounding cultivators' mouths twitched. Their hearts seemed to be bleeding. The damage wasn't high, but it was extremely insulting. Somewhere in Big Dipper City, when Ning Tian followed Mad Killer and the others here, he was a little surprised. He didn't expect these guys to have such a vast territory in Big Dipper City. Fellow Taoist Ning, this is the base of our Big Dipper Anti-Heavenly Palace organization. After so many years, it has finally reached such a scale. Mad Killer looked around with satisfaction and introduced to Ning Tian. These are... Ning Tian looked at the surrounding stone tablets engraved with words. Upon closer inspection, it recorded how these guys were bullied by the 9 Supremes of the Heavenly Palace. Seeing this, Ning Tian couldn't help but want to laugh. These guys were asking for a rebuff. It was already good enough that his senior brothers and sisters didn't kill them. They were simply toying with them. He didn't expect these guys to want revenge. Well, this time, let's completely disband the Big Dipper Anti-Heavenly Palace organization. Ning Tian touched his chin and murmured in his heart. He did this for Mad Killer's sake. As long as the Big Dipper Anti-Heavenly Palace organization was gone, they wouldn't have to look for trouble. He was thinking for others. It seemed that the patriarch was indeed a good person. Come, everyone, let's discuss. This time, we will definitely take down the Heavenly Palace's patriarch. Mad Killer looked at the group of cultivators, his eyes flashing. Yes. The group of cultivators' eyes flashed fiercely and they nodded heavily. This time, they definitely could. Hence, this group of cute Big Dipper Anti-Heavenly Palace cultivators loudly plotted all kinds of ways to deal with the Heavenly Palace's patriarch in front of Ning Tian. Hearing this, Ning Tian felt a little embarrassed. These guys, do they really think that they can deal with me with this method? Hearing that some people even wanted to sneak up on him after seeing him, the corner of Ning Tian's mouth twitched. Was he that stupid? He finally understood. Why were these guys beaten up so badly by his senior brothers and senior sisters? That's the plan this time. Mad Killer frowned. It seemed that he was a little dissatisfied with the brainless, stupid plan that these people came up with. Fellow Taoists, I have a plan. How about listening to me in detail? At this moment, Ning Tian slowly got up with a smile at the corner of his mouth. Handsome Ning? The surrounding cultivators were stunned and looked over. There was a trace of doubt and distrust in their eyes. Seeing this scene, Ning Tian narrowed his eyes slightly. If these guys didn't trust him, how could he continue to deceive them? It seems that I have to use other means, Ning Tian muttered in his heart. Activated, Heart of Humanity. Use the light of faith. Don't forget, when the light of faith was activated before, it was because they had a trace of reverence for Ning Tian. With reverence, they more or less believed in Ning Tian's words. Why do I feel that fellow Taoist Ning is glowing? Strange, his ugliness seems to be pleasing to the eye? When the light of faith was activated, the surrounding cultivators suddenly changed. Oh, fellow Taoist Ning has a plan? Mad Killer looked at Ning Tian and unconsciously believed in him. Yes, to be honest, I have another profession, and that is trap master. I'm proficient in all kinds of traps. As long as you help me set them up, with the intelligence of the Heavenly Palace's ancestor, he will definitely fall into my trap. Ning Tian showed a confident smile. Trap master, using traps, is it really useful against the Heavenly Palace's ancestor? Mad Killer frowned. Don't worry. Ning Tian patted his chest and slightly raised the corner of his mouth. There was one more thing he didn't say. That was, it was useless against the Heavenly Palace's ancestor, but it was enough to deal with them. Since there was free labor here, why not use it? Let them help him dig a trap and use it to get rid of them. It was perfect. When the ancestor decided to turn the tables, he had already decided how to trick them. Then, fellow Taoist Ning, what are you going to do? Mad Killer looked over. He didn't know why. The more he looked at Ning Tian, the more convinced he was. Well, I have my own plan. When we enter the Big Dipper secret realm, you will naturally know. Don't worry, my trap is definitely useful. Ning Tian chuckled. Haha. With fellow Taoist Ning's participation, this time, our Big Dipper anti-Heavenly Palace organization will definitely win. Mad Killer's eyes flashed with a flash of light. The surrounding cultivators' eyes shone with golden light. Haha. Ning Tian also chuckled. Fellow Taoist Ning, why are you laughing? Mad Killer asked. It's nothing. Seeing you guys happy makes me happy too. Oh, I see. After Loud's conspiracy, Ning Tian hummed a tune and left this place. He was really looking forward to the trip to the Big Dipper secret realm. With Mad Killer and this group of people, the trip to the Big Dipper secret realm should be much smoother. Yi Shuang and the others probably didn't expect it either. They were just playing with these guys, but they didn't expect that their junior brother would directly join in and operate under the table. If they couldn't win, they would join in. The best way was to borrow the enemy's hand to kill the enemy. And next, they just needed to wait for night to fall. After finding the inn where the two girls were, Ning Tian pulled the two girls for a few hours of serious cultivation. And a few hours later, night. It had already quietly arrived. Creak. The door of the inn was pushed open, and the little lions guarding the door immediately became energetic. Phew! Night has finally fallen. Ning Tian stretched his waist in satisfaction, and the two girls' complexions were also very good. The most important thing was that ninth senior sister really didn't lie to him. The two girls' figures were even more perfect than before. Cough. It's time for the Big Dipper secret realm to open. Husband, are you really planning to go with those guys? Luo Wuqing's pretty face still had a faint blush from cultivation. She looked at Ning Tian and frowned. Yes. Ning Tian nodded. He put on the ice silkworm mask with one hand and removed the soundproof array with the other. After all, the two girls were a little loud when they were cultivating. It wouldn't be good if they disturbed the neighbors. Free labor. It's a waste not to take it. Hee, this is very in line with your habits, hubby. At the side, Sui Weiyao supported Luo Wuqing. After hearing Ning Tian's words, she couldn't help but cover her mouth and chuckle. Haha, let's go. Let's head towards the entrance. Ning Tian chuckled and led the group towards the Big Dipper heavenly stone. At this moment, all the cultivators in the Big Dipper city were heading towards that direction. In front of the Big Dipper heavenly stone. Ancestral Master, you're finally here. Di Tian walked over with Old Su and the Old Emperor. Beside him was the Dragon Pool Demon King and the Phoenix Feather Demon King. This time, the Dragon Pool Demon King finally understood that this guy who descended from the sky was a family. Yes. Ning Tian nodded slightly. Haha. Fellow Taoist Ning, we're here. At this moment, a coarse laugh rang out. Huang Sha walked over with a large group of cultivators from the Big Dipper Anti-Heaven Palace. They were all holding shovels in their hands. After all, they were digging traps. With tools, they would appear more professional. At this moment, more and more cultivators gathered around. There were geniuses from all the major regions who had come to the Big Dipper secret realm. However, there were too many people. Ning Tian couldn't see all of them. The sky had already darkened. The sky darkened. At this moment, the 7 spirit stars hanging high in the sky also emitted a strong light. Moreover, this light was getting stronger and brighter. Boom, boom, boom. It was also at this moment. The dark stone body of the Big Dipper heavenly stone emitted a series of rumbling sounds. It was as if the surrounding space was constantly trembling. After the 7 spirit stars in the sky shone on the Big Dipper heavenly stone, the reddish-gold ancient runes were all lit up. From the bottom, it spread all the way to the highest point of the Big Dipper heavenly stone, all the way to the sky. Boom, rumble, the Big Dipper heavenly stone shone with golden light. The moment the ancient runes were lit up, it seemed to have turned into a beacon. The golden light pointed straight to the sky. Husband, look over there. Luo Wuqing frowned slightly and pointed to the sky. Hearing this, Ning Tian looked over. In the sky, the space began to fluctuate. A huge void door slowly opened, and inside the door was chaos. No one could see what was inside. The Big Dipper secret realm is open. Quick, let's go in. When they saw the void door open, the surrounding cultivators were extremely excited. With a move, they rushed towards the door. Let's go. Let's go too. Ning Tian looked at the few of them. Di Tian looked at Ning Tian, shook his head slightly, and said, Ancestral Master, we won't be going together. I brought the 2 of them here mainly to gain experience. Oh, all right. Ning Tian nodded slightly. Ancestral Master, come to my empty god palace again next time. My old ancestor misses you. Before Di Tian left with Di Wuji and Old Su did not forget to be filial. Ancestral Master, we feel the same. Dragon Pool Demon King and Phoenix Feather Demon King also said to Ning Tian. They came to the Big Dipper secret realm not for the heavenly treasure, but to gain experience. If they followed the Ancestral Master, it would not be effective. When Di Tian, Dragon Pool Demon King, and the others entered the Big Dipper secret realm first, Ning Tian stretched and smiled at Frenzied Killer and the others. Are you all ready? We'll defeat the Ancestral Master of the Heavenly Palace on this trip. Chapter 592. Defeat the Patriarch and avenge our humiliation. The voices of Huang Sha and the others attracted the attention of many cultivators. Those who knew the ins and outs of the matter couldn't help but shake their heads at Huang Sha and the others. Sigh. These fools again. How many times has it been? Every time they shouted that they would defeat the Heavenly Palace, they would come back crying. Let's hope they get what they want this time. Many of the surrounding cultivators sighed and headed towards the huge void door in the sky. A bunch of fools. Off to the side. A cold snort sounded. Demonic chi soared into the sky. A white-haired young man from the demon clan glanced coldly at Ning Tian and the others, then turned and led the other demon experts into the void portal in the sky. Ning Tian frowned slightly as he watched the white-haired demon disappear into the Big Dipper secret realm. He glanced at Huang Sha and the others and found that their expressions were somewhat ugly, but they didn't dare to say a word. Who is he? Ning Tian raised an eyebrow. By moshing from the Taiyuan demon realm of the Big Dipper constellation. He's the #1 genius of the demon clan in the Taiyuan demon realm. Huang Sha said gravely. By moshing? Oh, number one genius? Ning Tian narrowed his eyes and looked at Quang Sha and the others. Are you afraid of him? Hearing this, Quang Sha and the others fell silent. After a while, they said, Bai Moshing's methods are too cruel. We really don't want to be his opponent. We're not afraid. At most, we're just speaking from our hearts. Speaking from your hearts? Ning Tian nodded slightly. I understand. That's cowardice. Everyone, we can't be cowards. What cultivators fear the most is cowardice. Quang Sha and the others. It's not cowardice. It was just a simple act of following one's heart. Don't accuse us of anything. Then why aren't you afraid of the patriarch of the heavenly palace? Could it be that the patriarch of the heavenly palace is not as scary as Bai Moshing? Ning Tian's gaze fell on Quang Sha and the others again. The corners of his mouth lifted slightly into an ugly smile. Ah, this. Ning Tian's question directly stunned Crazed Killer and the rest. Maybe. Is it because the patriarch of the heavenly palace is not very famous? After all, the celestial palace's ancestral master only has the name of the celestial palace. He didn't do anything big. If it weren't for the celestial palace, he would just be an ordinary person. After Mad Killer analyzed the situation, he said in a serious tone. The corner of Ning Tian's mouth twitched. Ordinary? Yeah. Nothing special. Mad Killer nodded and added, or rather, he doesn't deserve to have a name. The corners of Ning Tian's mouth twitched again. Fellow Taoist Ning, what happened to you? You don't say. The way you pull the corners of your mouth makes you look ugly. Mad Kill did not realize the seriousness of the problem at all as he danced crazily in the minefield. Pooh. Hearing this, Sui Weiyao looked at Ning Tian's dark face and couldn't help but want to laugh. That pair of eyes full of ridicule fell on Ning Tian as if to say, Hubby, you also have a day like this? Roar, 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 at the side. The flame-sealing Lion King also let out a low roar that sounded like laughter. What are you laughing at? Ning Tian rolled her eyes at it and gave it a kick in the butt. Roar. In an instant. Mad Killer was unhappy. Differential treatment. In the end, he didn't love her anymore. Master Lion was wrong. Just as Mad Killer said, they had heard and seen Bai Moshing's cruel methods, but they had never seen the methods of the Celestial Palace's ancestral master. Naturally, they were a little afraid of the former because only after seeing and hearing about it would they know how terrifying it was. It seems that it's necessary to let them have the correct understanding. Ning Tian touched his chin and murmured in his heart. He must let Mad Killer and the others know that Bai Moshing was not scary. They could definitely kill Bai Moshing. He was only helping Mad Killer and the others to have the correct understanding, helping them to eliminate the fear in their hearts, so that they would not face the correct version of themselves. It was not that he wanted to kill them with a borrowed knife. As expected of me, you're considerate of others. The corners of Ning Tian's mouth curled up slightly. Fellow Taoist Ning, why are you smiling? Seeing Ning Tian smiling, Mad Killer was a little puzzled. It's nothing. I'm just happy for you guys. Ning Tian casually waved his hand and looked at the sky. More and more cultivators had entered the Big Dipper secret realm. Happy for us? Hearing this, Mad Killer and the others were confused. It's about time. Let's go in. Ning Tian just chuckled and did not explain anything. He pulled the two women and led the flame-sealing Lion King towards the door in the sky. Seeing this, Mad Killer hurriedly led a group of people to follow. The group of people rushed into the Big Dipper secret realm with a huge momentum and disappeared from Big Dipper City with a flash of white light. In front of him, along with the dazzling white light dissipating, the group of people had already appeared in the Big Dipper secret realm. The entire Big Dipper secret realm was a desert, and there was a sandstorm that blocked everyone's vision. When the group of people entered, the pressure of the heavenly Tao also descended. It was as if an invisible gravity was pressing down on everyone, making it difficult for them to breathe. What a strong pressure. No matter how many times I enter the Big Dipper secret realm, this heavenly Tao pressure still makes it difficult for me to breathe. Mad Killer frowned as a hint of seriousness flashed through his eyes. He looked at Ning Tian. Fellow Taoist Ning, this is your first time in the Big Dipper secret realm. You must be careful. Don't try to circulate your spirit energy to resist the heavenly Tao pressure. Otherwise, you will only suffer more pressure. Yes, yes. Ning Tian nodded while quietly circulating his spirit energy to investigate his surroundings. Heavenly Tao pressure? What was that? It sounded so powerful. This Big Dipper secret realm is indeed huge. I just don't know where the Big Dipper pagoda is. It seems that I need to use the heaven and earth locator to locate it. Ning Tian touched his chin and muttered. According to Mad Killer, the Big Dipper's secret realm was a desert, and there were many opportunities hidden in this desert. However, the heavenly Tao treasure was sealed in the Big Dipper pagoda in the Big Dipper secret realm. However, every time the Big Dipper's secret realm opened, the Big Dipper pagoda would change its location, making it difficult for people to grasp. Most cultivators' goal was the heavenly Tao treasure in the Big Dipper pagoda, while a small number of cultivators who knew their limits would target the large and small ordinary opportunities in the Big Dipper secret realm. Of course, there were also some cultivators who had ulterior motives. For example, Mad Killer was a group of people. Their goal was very simple. They didn't care about the heavenly Tao treasure or the large and small opportunities in the Big Dipper secret realm. All they wanted was revenge. They wanted to kill the younger brother of the Heavenly Palace's founder and prevent him from obtaining the opportunity. According to Mad Killer's train of thought, if the Heavenly Palace couldn't obtain it, it would be equivalent to them getting it. It was a sure win. This made Ning Tian wonder if there was something wrong with their heads. System, use the heaven and earth locator to search for the Big Dipper pagoda. Ning Tian muttered in his heart. Searching for the Big Dipper secret realm. Target, Big Dipper pagoda. The system's voice sounded in his mind. Soon, there was a result. Target, Big Dipper pagoda, found. As the voice sounded, a red light appeared in Ning Tian's eyes, and the location of this red light was where the Big Dipper pagoda was located. I finally found it. The corners of Ning Tian's mouth curled up slightly. Fellow Taoist Ning, where are we going to dig the trap? We can't wait to kill that Heavenly Palace's founder. Mad Killer held the shovel with a look of anticipation in his eyes. Around them, a group of cultivators could no longer endure their iron shovels. Damn it, they must kill the Heavenly Palace's founder. Looking at the burly man with a full beard in front of him, the corners of Ning Tian's mouth curled up slightly. He suddenly felt that this guy was quite interesting. Fellow Taoist Ning, can you not look at me like that? It's a little disgusting. Feeling the lecherous smile on Ning Tian's face, Mad Killer frowned and suddenly had goosebumps all over his body. He didn't expect this handsome Ning to have such a hobby with two beautiful wives. Ning Tian, Mad Killer was interesting, but he always liked to dance in minefields. The trap naturally can't be set here. Let's go. Ning Tian said to a group of extremely excited cultivators with shovels in their hands. Mad Killer and the others were stunned. The Heavenly Palace's founder's goal must be the Heavenly Tao treasure, so he set the trap outside the Big Dipper pagoda. With the nature of the Heavenly Palace's founder, who believes that everything is fated, he will definitely come over, so the trap will definitely fall. On the side, Su Yueyao giggled and looked at Ning Tian with teasing eyes. Don't you think so? Cough. Yes, after all, the Heavenly Palace's founder is insatiably greedy. I am sure of this. Ning Tian coughed and nodded. Oh, I see. Mad Killer and the others were enlightened. But, Miss Su, why do you know so much about the Heavenly Palace's founder? Mad Killer frowned as if he thought of something. Well, actually, I used to be the Heavenly Palace's founder's woman, but I saw that Ning Shuai is so handsome. So, sigh, women? Su Yueyao giggled. Her 9 fox tails swayed, adding a lot of charm. Ning Tian was stunned. Mad Killer and the others were also stunned. Why did it feel like there was a lot of information in this sentence? And, did women nowadays all like ugly men? Looking at Ning Shuai's ugly face, Mad Killer and the others were stunned. They even suspected that ugly to the extreme was the true handsome. Damn! Then there was a cry of surprise. Pairs of eyes fell on Ning Tian. Awesome! Fellow Taoist Ning, you are really awesome. You actually cheated on the Heavenly Palace's founder. Awesome, awesome. Hiss, Tiske. You are simply a role model for our generation. Admirable, admirable. I really prostrate myself in admiration. Ha ha ha. The Heavenly Palace's founder was actually cheated on. Ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter. Exclamations. They kept coming out from the mouths of Mad Killer's group of cultivators. They gave a thumbs up and looked at Ning Tian with admiration. They didn't doubt the authenticity of Su Yueyao's words at all. After all, Su Yueyao was a fox demon. It was said that fox demons liked energetic men, so there was no doubt about it. Su Yueyao was indeed a fox demon, and the man she liked was indeed energetic. But she only liked one person. Hearing the words of admiration around him, the corner of Ning Tian's mouth twitched. Looking at Su Yueyao, who kept winking at him, he couldn't help but nod helplessly. Yes, I cheated on the Heavenly Palace's founder. Goddamn, I cheated on the Heavenly Palace's founder. I cheated on myself? You shocked Mad Killer and the others. Reward. A green invisible primordial hat. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. System, I at hashtag yin%. Come out. I promise I won't beat you to death. Hearing this, Ning Tian gritted his teeth. Host, don't worry, this hat has a miraculous effect. What miraculous effect? Ning Tian still had a glimmer of hope. The system said seriously, it can make others forgive you. F***CK, you big asterisk. You system asterisk. Hearing the system's words, Ning Tian became a temporary telegraph operator. Although he was cursing, but Ning Tian's body was still very honest and silently put away this thing. Hee. At the side, Su Yueyao was very happy with this. She looked at Luo Wuqing and shook her head helplessly. This little wife. It seems that a few hours of education is far from enough. Ning Tian gritted his teeth. When the Big Dipper's secret realm was over, he must drag his little wife for a month of education. Otherwise, his skin wouldn't work. Since we have decided on a plan, there's no time to lose. Let's hurry up and leave. Okay, but where is the Big Dipper Tower? Mad Killer asked a crucial question. This is simple. Ning Tian chuckled and patted the ceiling flame lion king at the side. I know this mascot of the Heavenly Gate. It has a function. It can sense the nearby buildings and do the demolition. Oh, there's such a thing? Mad Killer raised his eyebrows slightly and looked at the ceiling flame lion king. Roaring grass? Hearing this, the ceiling flame lion king was stunned for a moment and blinked in confusion. Why didn't Master Lion King know that Master Lion King had such an ability? If he did, then wouldn't there be no houses left within a few miles? However, Ning Tian's voice quickly entered its mind. Sha Tian, do as I say. Roar. The ceiling flame Lion King roared. Unwilling? Ning Tian frowned and sent a voice transmission. Roar. After a series of friendly exchanges, the ceiling flame Lion King finally agreed. In the end, Master Lion was reduced to being a tool lion. Everyone, follow Sha Tian. Seeing that the ceiling flame Lion King obediently cooperated, Ning Tian put away the Scarlet Heaven sword in his hand, which had been upgraded to be more convenient for cutting meat. Sure enough, a friendly exchange could solve everything. Immediately after, under the lead of the ceiling flame Lion King and Ning Tian's secret operation, the group headed towards the Big Dipper Tower. 10 minutes later, after making their way through the desert, Ning Tian's group finally saw a black tower rising into the sky. They also saw a good number of cultivators. However, when the cultivators saw Ning Tian's group, which numbered in the hundreds, they became incomparably fearful. Thus, they chose to circle around them. We're finally near the tower. Looking at the Big Dipper Tower not far away, Mad Kill's group could no longer hold back the shovel in their hands. The Big Dipper Tower hasn't opened yet? Seeing that the Big Dipper Tower was in a closed state, Ning Tian frowned. Of course. The Big Dipper Tower has a time limit. Mad Kill nodded and explained. It's precisely because the location of the Big Dipper Tower is unknown and the teleportation in the Big Dipper secret realm is unknown that there's a time limit. Otherwise, if a lucky person is teleported to the Big Dipper Tower by accident, Wouldn't he be able to enter the Big Dipper Tower first? Hearing this, Ning Tian frowned slightly. In that case, then he could only bury a few more traps. After all, there was a lot of free labor. That's fine. Let's bury the traps first. The Heaven Palace Ancestral Master will definitely come. Ning Tian looked at Mad Kill and the others with a smile. Okay, but how do we bury it? Mad Kill stuck the shovel in his hand into the ground and looked at Ning Tian and asked. Let me think about it. Ning Tian said, and then directly activated the Trap Master skill. Trap Master has been activated. The host will transform into a Trap Master and elegantly trap everyone to death. In his mind, the system's voice sounded. Soon, a bunch of traps appeared in Ning Tian's mind. This guy's system. These traps are a little immoral. Ning Tian, who had transformed into a Trap Master, checked all the traps and couldn't help but raise the corner of his mouth slightly. Immoral. I like it. Okay, I'll choose a few of your traps. After Ning Tian chose a few traps, the method to bury and activate the traps fell into his mind. Come, let's do it. I guarantee that you will be satisfied with these arrays. The corner of Ning Tian's mouth slightly raised, and then he commanded the group of people to dig with shovels. Digging traps, trapping the Ancestral Master. Soon, near the Big Dipper Tower, a large pit appeared one after another. Seeing the strange actions of this group of people, many cultivators passing by were attracted, but after they asked, they were fooled by the smiling Ning Tian. One by one, they mistakenly thought that there was a buried opportunity near the Big Dipper Tower and immediately joined the digging operation. An hour later, near the Big Dipper Tower, there was a large area of potholes. It seems that my husband is serious. Luo Wuqing's beautiful eyes fell on the large pit, and her brows slightly furrowed. Hee, I wonder which unlucky guy is going to fall for it. Su Yueyao covered her mouth and chuckled, her eyes full of expectation, and there was a guy lying comfortably on her white and tender thigh. Phew, fellow Taoist Ning, we have dug the pit. Holding the shovel, Huang Sha walked over and said to Ning Tian, who was resting his head on Su Yueyao's thigh. Oh, so fast. Ning Tian moved the 9 fox tails away from his face, then got up and stretched and looked over. Good fellow. So many pits. How much do these guys want to trap me to death? Hee, there are a lot of pits. It shouldn't be a problem, right? It's better to trick people when there are more pits. Huang Sha laughed very happily. He was already imagining that the Heavenly Palace's Ancestral Master would fall into that pit. Ha ha ha. How can it be a problem? After all, there are a lot of people. Ning Tian patted Huang Sha's shoulder and said with a smile, People? A lot of people? Huang Sha was stunned for a moment. Ha, it's nothing. Ning Tian smiled and shook his head, then looked at the big pit. Next, it was his turn to set the trap. Huang Sha's group was responsible for the physical work, and he just needed to move his hands. Trap Master has been activated. The host has begun to set the trap, accompanied by the system's voice. Ning Tian waved his hand, and then countless spiritual energy appeared in his hand, and then instantly filled those big pits. One by one, the system's voice sounded in his mind. You have successfully set a trap. You have successfully set a trap. After a while, all the traps were set. Even the craters were filled up. Everything, as if nothing had happened. It's over? Huang Sha was stunned. Of course it's over. The trap is deep. It's normal that you can't understand it. Ning Tian smiled and silently put away his spiritual energy. Next, he just needed to watch a good show. So that's how it is. But where is the trap? There's no trace at all. What if we step on it? That seems to be true. Around, many cultivators were stunned in place, not daring to move. Haha, it's just a small detail. Don't worry so much. Now we just need to wait for the Big Dipper Tower to open, and the Heavenly Palace Patriarch will take the bait. Ning Tian chuckled and then lay down on Luo Wuqing's lap. The two women took turns. This way, their legs wouldn't go numb. All right. Huang Sha and the others nodded slightly. A few hours later, there seemed to be a rumbling sound from the Big Dipper Tower. Immediately after, on the pitch-black tower, the ancient seals dissipated, and then the thick tower door slowly opened, and at the same time, the surrounding aura became more and more powerful. Obviously, with the opening of the Big Dipper Tower, more and more cultivators were approaching. It's finally open. Ning Tian rested his head on the white and tender thighs and glanced at the Big Dipper Tower, but he wasn't in a hurry to enter, because these traps still needed him to activate. He had to use the surrounding traps to block a large group of people first. Everyone, get ready. The Heavenly Palace Patriarch should be coming. Ning Tian's lips curled up slightly. Okay. Huang Sha and the others nodded heavily, looking around nervously. Hurry and look. The Big Dipper Tower is open. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Hurry and enter. The Heavenly Dao treasure is right in front of us. Around them, more and more cultivators gathered, and some of them couldn't help but rush towards the Big Dipper Tower. Boom. They're here. Seeing this, Ning Tian's lips curled up slightly, and then he snapped his fingers gently. Lure the trap. Activate. Boom. In an instant, a huge wave of spirit energy rushed towards the large group of cultivators. What? Hurry and circulate your spirit energy. Sensing the pressure of the spirit energy, the large group of cultivators' expressions changed drastically, and they hurriedly circulated their spirit energy. The moment they circulated their spirit energy, Ning Tian's lips curled up slightly, and a glint flashed in his eyes. They've been tricked. The trigger condition of his trap was not to step on it. After all, it could fly. The trigger condition was to circulate their spirit energy. As these guys were wary of the Heavenly Dao's pressure, they did not deliberately circulate their spirit energy, and Ning Tian's trap was to lure them to use their spirit energy. When they used their spirit energy, everything would fall into Ning Tian's trap. It seems that nothing happened. Many cultivators were stunned. The pressure of spirit energy just now seemed to have nothing to do with it. Damn! What the hell is this? Suddenly, there was an exclamation. The soil under the group of cultivators' feet collapsed, and then their faces turned red, as if they were holding something in. Damn! Why do I have this feeling? I haven't had this feeling for a long time. Damn! I want to go to the toilet. Screams could be heard one after another. In fact, there was also a stench. Success, the first trap. I'll return it to you. Ning Tian's eyes lit up. Many cultivators would choose to abstain from eating, which would cause something to be deposited in the body, and this array was to return all the deposited things after the cultivators in the trap circulated their spirit energy. This move, it was so harmful. Author's words. I beg for money. Chapter 593. F***CK. What the hell is this? That's impossible. With my ancestor God realm cultivation, I can't resist my body's instinct. I can't take it anymore. It's really unbearable. The screams continued to ring out. The group of cultivators trapped in the trap flushed red, but there was nothing they could do. But that was when a strange feeling surfaced. They even felt that the spiritual energy in their bodies was frozen at this moment. I can't take it anymore. I can't hold on any longer. Oh, awesome. F***CK help. It stinks. I don't want to be the first cultivator to die from the stench. Screams. They kept ringing out. These cultivators trapped in the trap wanted to resist the feeling in their bodies and escape. But the feeling in their bodies suppressed their spiritual energy, so they couldn't escape at all. They were forced to choose their body's instinct. Not far away. Seeing this scene, Huang Sha and the others were stunned. The corners of their mouths twitched. They looked at Ning Tian, who was smiling at the side, and their hearts couldn't help but tremble. F***CK. How damaging. Fellow Taoist Ning, this move of yours is simply amazing. If the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master fell for it, it would be a scene of social death. It's simply killing people's hearts. Huang Sha looked at Ning Tian excitedly. Around them, a group of cultivators also looked at Ning Tian excitedly. Yes, if the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master fell for this move, it would be a pleasure. Fellow Taoist Ning, you've taken all the bamboo shoots on the mountain. No, Ning Tian shook his head and calmly circulated the spiritual energy around him and the two women to form an air isolation shield. Then, he said softly, I'm not damaging them. I'm helping them. After all, cultivators are also human. It's normal for humans to have three urges. I'm just helping them to force out their urges. Huang Sha was stunned. He actually felt that Ning Tian's words made sense. But, fellow Taoist Ning, there are demons and demons here. They aren't humans. Among the group of people who were madly killing, a cultivator cast a wise look at him. Ning Tian, fellow Taoist, you are quite good at arguing. Many thanks for fellow Taoist Ning's praise. I used to carry spirit ores. The cultivator scratched his head. Ning Tian was speechless, and then he paid no further attention to them. He took a deep breath, and then his eyes narrowed slightly as he looked ahead. Huang Sha and the others also looked over, but they were more looking forward to the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master falling into Taoist Ning's trap. It was the array formation in front of them. The faces of the group of cultivators were pale. Their bodies were empty and powerless as they fell to the ground. Their eyes were filled with despair. Even though they did not suffer any injuries, they felt that they were doomed for the rest of their lives. F***CK. The Big Dipper Secret Realm. Why did it become like this? A middle-aged cultivator had a pained expression on his face. Was it the loss of morality or the distortion of society that caused him to experience such a thing? I hope, Junior Brother and the others are fine. The middle-aged man raised his pale face and looked not far away, but the moment he looked over, the corner of his mouth suddenly twitched. He was dumbfounded and stopped thinking, because, in front of him, sounds of stupefied words kept coming out from the mouths of the group of cultivators. Their eyes were unfocused, and saliva flowed out from their mouths. Strange words kept coming out of their mouths. The second trap is also in effect. The second trap is activated by the stench. Seeing this scene, the corner of Ning Tian's mouth rose slightly. The second wicked, perfect trap was the intelligence reduction array. Once the return to you poop array was activated, the mind-lowering array activated by the stench would follow closely behind. As a trap grandmaster, his traps naturally had to be interlocked, and this trap was effective for one day. That meant these poor cultivators had to temporarily stay in for an entire day. Fellow Taoist Ning, this trap of yours is damaging enough, right? Huang Sha looked over. No, this is called lowering their thinking ability to help reduce the load on their brain, Ning Tian said with a straight face. Huang Sha, the cultivators of the Big Dipper Anti-Heaven Palace organization. At this moment, looking at Ning Tian, who was speaking seriously, they couldn't think of any other words other than awesome. As expected of you, hubby, Sui Weiao giggled. Next, there's a very interesting trap. Get ready to enjoy it. Ning Tian chuckled and lay on Luo Wuqing's white and tender legs again. At the same time, he adjusted himself to a very comfortable angle, causing his first wife to roll her eyes. When the intelligence reduction sound reaches a certain level, another trap should descend on them. Ning Tian looked at the last group of cultivators trapped together, and the corners of his mouth rose slightly. Hearing this, Huang Sha and the others looked over. The group of cultivators was still trembling with vigilance. But, are these people fools? Why don't they leave? Huang Sha found a point. They're not fools. But they can't leave. The corners of Ning Tian's mouth rose slightly. The moment these cultivators stepped into the vicinity of the Big Dipper Pagoda, they stepped into a gravity trap. The purpose was naturally to prevent them from escaping. Everything was under the control of the patriarch. The intelligence reduction sound continued to spread in all directions. Boom. At that moment, in the last array where hundreds of cultivators were trapped, roars sounded, followed by a burst of immortal music. Immortal music? What's going on? It seems the trap we fell into isn't that terrible. Hearing the immortal music, the hundreds of cultivators were stunned, but soon they relaxed. This didn't seem to be as wicked as the previous two traps. It was just immortal music. Needless to say, this immortal music was quite pleasant. Fellow Taoist Ning, Your trap seems to have failed? Seeing this scene, Sha frowned and asked. Failed? Ning Tian chuckled and shook his head slightly. It doesn't exist. This trap is called Dance Array. How about a dance array? Sha and the others were stunned and a little confused. What's that? Accompanied by the heavenly music, one will dance until all of one's spiritual energy is exhausted. Ning Tian explained. Awesome. Awesome. The corner of Sha's mouth twitched. This trap array is terrible enough. No. Ning Tian shook his head and said seriously, this move is to help them exercise their bodies. Look at how happy they are dancing. Young people nowadays should exercise their bodies properly. These 3 moves were all for your own good. They helped you relieve the pressure on your body, help you free your brain, and help you exercise your body. The patriarch did all this for your own good. As expected of the patriarch, this move was called the 3 good traps. Hearing this, Sha and the others were speechless. They actually had deep admiration for handsome Ning in front of them. Damn. This heaven-demolishing gate patriarch is so awesome. I want to learn. I also want to do the best for others. Around them, a group of cultivators from the Big Dipper Anti-Heaven Palace organization widened their eyes, full of admiration. Detected faith energy, light of faith, +1. Detected faith energy, light of faith, +2. Detected faith energy, light of faith, +1. Current, light of faith, 5300100000. At this moment, in Ning Tian's mind, the system's voice sounded. He collected all the faith energy of the Big Dipper Anti-Heaven Palace group. Oh, light of faith energy? Hearing this, the corners of Ning Tian's mouth curled up slightly. This was interesting. Look, that male cultivator's dancing is so enchanting. He's so flirtatious. But I have to say, the other male cultivator has some skills. That but movement, TSK, it's simply perfect. Huh, why are you looking at me like that? I'm just telling the truth. But I want to see the patriarch of the heavenly palace fall for this move more. I want to see the patriarch of the heavenly palace striptease. Me too. Me too. But these people are really pitiful. The group of people looked at the group of cultivators dancing wildly and touched their chins as they complained. But soon, there was a slight change in the eyes of this group of old perverts. Look, that saintess figure is so good. Hee. Actually, I prefer that mermaid princess. TSK. Is that cat demon maid not good enough? When she dances, she's shaking. Damn, where is it? I want to see it too. A serious voice sounded from the side. Don't forget, in this dance array, there were not only male cultivators, but also many female cultivators. These female cultivators, whether it was their figures or their dancing, were a pleasure. Huh. Hearing the words of the group of people, Ning Tian frowned and was about to raise his head. However, suddenly, his vision turned black. Then, there was a soft and faint milky fragrance. Just now, you wanted to look up, right? Why? Do you want to see others dance? Luo Wuqing's cold voice sounded in Ning Tian's ears. She directly used the strengthened Luo clan punishment on Ning Tian. Ning Tian was suppressed by that softness and was speechless. However, he really wanted to say something. Coach, this woman is hitting people with a ball. Hee. Wuqing, he definitely wants to see it. So don't let him off. When you're done with the punishment, I'll join in the punishment too. At the side, Sui Weiyao wanted to join in the fun. Woo. Ning Tian was speechless. He wanted to refute, but when he thought of the double happiness, he decisively gave up. Hence, Crazy Killer and the others watched the group of beautiful cultivators dance with relish, while Ning Tian pitifully enjoyed the strengthened version of the Luo clan punishment. Damn it! What the hell is going on? In the trap array, the saintess of a certain sacred ground gritted her teeth as sweat flowed from her forehead. She twisted her waist uncontrollably. During this process, the spirit energy in her body was also rapidly dissipating. Around her, many cultivators had already exhausted their spirit energy and fell to the ground with a dazed look. Aya, this is fun. Crazy Killer stretched and looked at Ning Tian. Huh? Daoist Ning, what's wrong with you? Are you having a nosebleed? Daoist Ning, your body isn't too good. It's a little weak. Ning Tian rolled his eyes at him and cursed in his heart. Damn it. His wife's figure was getting better and better. He couldn't take it anymore. Daoist Ning, we've seen the power of your trap. We can't wait to see the expression of the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master after being hit, haha. It must be very cool. Crazy Killer laughed.
Yes.
I didn't expect Daoist Ning's trap to be so effective. It's really an eye-opener.
Tisk.
It's really shocking. The group of cultivators from the Big Dipper Anti-Heaven Palace also looked over in surprise. They were really surprised by the dismantling of the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master's trap. It's a pity that the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master isn't here yet. Crazy Killer sighed. You've shocked Crazy Killer. You've shocked the group of cultivators from the Big Dipper Anti-Heaven Palace. Reward, illusion card. Effect, confuses the mind and causes hallucinations. Effective time, half an hour. At this moment, the system's voice sounded in his mind. Illusion card? Ning Tian raised his eyebrows. Huh, what is going on here? At this moment, in the sky, a voice with a hint of doubt sounded. A few figures emerged from a thick, demonic fog. The leader was a white-haired young man from the demon clan. He was the #1 genius of the Taiyuan demon realm, Bai Mashing. When Bai Mashing appeared in the sky and saw the scene below, he frowned. The scene below was too horrible to look at. It was like hell on earth. Forget it. Let's enter the Big Dipper Pagoda first. The other guys from the demon clan haven't arrived yet. This is my chance. If I get the Heavenly Dao treasure first, the Demon Emperor will definitely value me. Bai Mashing murmured and quickly made up his mind. However, before he could lead the experts around him into the Big Dipper Pagoda, he heard a loud shout. Damn it! I saw the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. Huh? Someone from the Heavenly Palace? Bai Mashing was taken aback. A hint of fear flashed across his eyes. If someone from the Heavenly Palace appeared here, he would have to be more careful. However, when Bai Mashing looked around with a dumbfounded expression, he did not see the so-called Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. Instead, he saw an extremely ugly man pointing at him and speaking with an agitated expression. It's him. It's him, the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. Bai Mashing slowly typed out a question mark. At this moment, the moment Mad Killer and the others looked over, Ning Tian directly used the illusory card that he had just obtained. Use the illusory card to give Mad Killer and the others the illusion that Bai Mashing is the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. Use successful. In an instant, the illusory card took effect. Mad Killer and the others looked over. In an instant, Bai Mashing's appearance turned into the handsome Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. Damn it! It's really the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. He's here. This ancestral master is really a dog. He didn't fall for it. I don't care anymore. Brothers, kill him. Kill the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master and avenge our previous humiliation. Charge with me. Mad Killer roared, picked up the shovel, and charged toward Bai Mashing. Go. Kill the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. Hit his brother. In an instant, the group of people charged at Bai Mashing with great momentum. In the sky, Bai Mashing was stunned on the spot. What the hell? Are these idiots crazy? He muttered to himself. Lord Bai Mashing, should we run? This group of human cultivators seems to be coming for us. Beside Bai Mashing, a few demon experts were a little scared and could not help but ask, Run? Why should we run? I'm the Taiyuan demon domain's genius, Bai Mashing, not that ancestral master of the Heavenly Palace. They want to fight the ancestral master of the Heavenly Palace, not me. Clang. Before Bai Mashing could finish his words, Mad Killer, who was charging at the front, had already smacked the shovel in his hand on Bai Mashing's head. At that moment, Bai Mashing was completely dumbfounded. Damn it, Mad Killer, you're so brave. I want to join in too. Seeing this, The group of cultivators from the Big Dipper Anti-Heavenly Palace organization instantly widened their eyes filled with excitement. They felt like they had gotten their revenge, and instantly, they smashed the shovels in their hands fiercely. Clang, 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 clang. I'm warning you, don't be too presumptuous. Clang. Shut up. I'll kill you with a shovel today. I won't. Clang. Oh, you still don't believe me? You're the ancestral master of the Heavenly Palace. I'm a demon. Clang. Demon your ass. Take a beating for me. Clang. Hints. By Moshing kept trying to emphasize his identity and even wanted to resist, but without exception, he was smashed by the shovels in the hands of Mad Killer and the rest. Tisk, tisk. How tragic. Look, haven't you overcome the fear in your hearts? Ning Tian watched with relish as the ancestral master of the Heavenly Palace was beaten up by Mad Killer and the rest. This Bai Moshing was indeed a genius, having reached the 4-star celestial god realm at such a young age. However, forget that there were also celestial gods in Mad Killer's group. They might not be a match for him in a one-on-one fight. However, what was the point of fighting 300 against 1? Damn, this feels so good. Mad Killer wiped his sweat. I didn't expect the ancestral master of the Heavenly Palace to be so weak. Puffed. Hearing that, Bai Moshing, who was lying on the ground and getting beaten up, spat out another mouthful of blood. I already said that I'm not the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. Furthermore, King want 300 against 1? Fight me one-on-one if you dare. Damn. Daoist Ning, do you want to have a go? It feels really good. Mad Killer held the shovel in his hands and looked at Ning Tian. Haha, you guys go ahead. Ning Tian shook his head. It was almost time. He had already stopped the first batch of people who wanted to enter the Big Dipper Pagoda. He had also made use of this time to study the Big Dipper Pagoda thoroughly and was ready to enter. I see. That's a pity. Upon hearing Ning Tian's words, Mad Killer shrugged and then looked at the group of cultivators. Brothers, let's continue fighting. However, don't kill or injure him severely. We can't afford to offend the Heavenly Palace. Let's beat him up first. Hurry. He's fainted. I'll take off his pants. He's so small. Cut the crap. Hurry. Hit him. There was a series of screams. Ning Tian clicked his tongue and sighed. It was too tragic. It was really too tragic. Half an hour later. Phew. This is so damn satisfying. Mad Killer revealed a gratified smile. Haha, that's right. The surrounding cultivators also nodded. Some of them even had tears in their eyes. They were very excited. They had finally done it. They had defeated the patriarch of the Heavenly Palace and washed away their previous shame. In the battle between the Big Dipper Secret Realm and the Heavenly Palace, they had finally achieved the first victory. What the F***CK? However, at this moment, a cry of surprise sounded. How did the patriarch of the Heavenly Palace become Bai Moshing? Huh. The group of people looked over and were instantly dumbfounded. What the F***CK? It's really Bai Moshing. That's not right. How did he become Bai Moshing? He was clearly the patriarch of the Heavenly Palace before. This is not right. This is completely wrong. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Mad Killer and the others were a little confused. I've already said that I'm not the patriarch of the Heavenly Palace, F***CK. Bai Moshing was beaten until his head was swollen. After barely uttering those words, he directly fainted. The last word was his last bit of stubbornness. Haha. Congratulations, everyone. Right at this moment, a chuckle sounded. Mad Killer and the others turned around and saw Ning Shui looking at them. Huh. Fellow Daoist Ning, what do you mean? Mad Killer frowned. Ning Tian spread his hands and said, That's right. You've defeated the fear in your hearts. Look, you've successfully defeated Bai Moshing. Mad Killer and the others. Before Mad Killer could finish his words, he was interrupted by Ning Tian. But what we're going to fight is the heavenly. Fellow Daoist Mad Killer, wait for me for a moment. I'll take off my mask. It's a little cold to wear it. Ning Tian said. then took off the ice silkworm mask on his face in front of Mad Killer and the others. Okay, then I'll wait for fellow Taoist Ning. Before Mad Killer could finish his words, he was stunned when he saw Ning Tian's action. F***CK. It's the hottie. Bah. It's the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. Ning Shui is the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. At that moment, everyone's hearts seemed to have been struck by lightning. They were instantly dumbfounded and directly petrified on the spot. F***CK? It turned out that the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master was actually by their side? Fellow Taoist Ning, you actually deceived my feelings. Mad Killer cried. Mad Killer cried. Maybe it's your wishful thinking. Ning Tian spread his hands. Scumbag. Su Yueyao muttered. Scumbag. Luo Wuqing followed. Ning Tian. Damn it, even if it's fellow Taoist Ning, we have to catch him today. Mad Killer cursed and was about to move, but found that his body couldn't move. The group of cultivators around him was the same. What's going on? Mad Killer frowned. Oh, it's not a big problem. You guys stepped on the trap you dug. It's a gravity trap. Ning Tian said with a smile. Mad Killer and the others, everyone, I am also a good person. Along the way, I know how painful it is for all of you. Therefore, I have decided to be a good person to the end and fulfill your wishes. As Ning Tian spoke, she took out the small notebook from before. Hearing this, Mad Killer and the others suddenly widened their eyes. Fellow Taoist Ning, you're really a good person. I just need to flick it. Me too. Me too. The group of cultivators was a little excited. They didn't expect the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master to be so good that he was willing to pay the price to fulfill their wishes. Don't worry. One by one. I remember your wishes. Don't worry. I'll be gentle. Ning Tian's mouth raised a smile. Huh. Gentle, gentle? Huh. No. You're fulfilling our wishes? Mad Killer and the others were stunned. Yes, I'll fulfill your wishes. Ning Tian chuckled. F***CK. At this moment, Mad Killer seemed to understand why Ning Tian had to remember the small notebook. It turned out that it wasn't Ning Tian who paid the price, but it was them who paid the price. F***CK next. Screams of pain and joy could be heard. A few minutes later, Ning Tian clapped his hands. All right, your wishes have been fulfilled. There's no mistake. Ning Tian looked at the group of people and said with a smile, all right, it's perfectly settled. Wife, let's enter the tower. Right. Before entering the tower, Ning Tian seemed to have thought of something and looked at the group of people again. Although I'm the Heavenly Palace's ancestral master, but I can also be the Heaven Gate's ancestral master. If you have any business, you can come to me and buy one for you. Finished. The three of them and a small lion entered the Big Dipper Tower. Heavenly Palace's ancestral master. The corner of Mad Killer's mouth twitched, but at this moment, a jade bottle was thrown out from the Big Dipper Tower. Mad Killer looked over. There were hundreds of pills in the jade bottle. This is healing pills? Mad Killer was stunned. Looking at the Big Dipper Tower, a complicated look flashed across his eyes. The corner of his mouth raised into a helpless smile. I really can't do anything about this guy. He seems to be different from the others in the Heavenly Palace. Chapter 594. Are you all okay? Huang Sha stood up from the ground, looked at the group of cultivators from the Big Dipper Anti-Heaven Palace organization, and asked with a frown. No, it's okay. I'm still here. Me too. A burst of resentful voices sounded, and the group of cultivators struggled to get up from the ground. Except for not doing anything bad to a few female cultivators, fellow Taoist Ning is simply evil to the extreme. Huang Sha looked at the miserable appearance of this group of people and couldn't help but shake his head helplessly. Come, everyone. Please take these healing pills. Huang Sha opened the jade bottle in his hand, and a strong medicinal fragrance spread out from it. Fellow Taoist Huang Sha, this is? The group of cultivators' eyes fell on the jade bottle in Huang Sha's hand. They could clearly feel the medicinal power of the pill in his hand. This thing was definitely a good medicine. Fellow Taoist Ning gave me a healing pill. Huang Sha said indifferently. He gave it to us? It's not poisonous, right? Hearing this, the group of cultivators' faces changed slightly, and a trace of fear flashed in their eyes. It shouldn't be a big problem. Looking at the quality of this pill, it's a high-quality pill, and fellow Taoist Ning shouldn't have any bad intentions, right? Huang Sha frowned. This pill didn't seem to have any problems. Okay, then, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. The group of cultivators mustered up their courage. If they had a healing pill now, they should be able to fully recover. Seeing this, Huang Sha distributed all the pills to the surrounding cultivators. On the count of 3, everyone eat together. Huang Sha looked at the group of cultivators, and everyone nodded heavily. 3, 2, 1, swallow. Everyone raised their heads and swallowed the healing pill given by fellow Taoist Ning. The moment the pill entered their bodies, the spiritual energy in their bodies surged wildly. Feeling this scene, everyone's face changed. Are we going to die just because we want to try? No, no. When the pill enters the body, it stimulates the spiritual energy. It's the beginning of the healing. Suddenly, everyone's face changed. They saw a healing brilliance flowed out from their bodies and enveloped them. Their injuries were also quietly healed at this moment, as if they were completely fine. I knew that fellow Taoist Ning wouldn't have any bad intentions. He's finally a human being. Mad Killer let out a long sigh of relief. Yes, his injuries have all healed. In fact, there's still an enormous amount of energy remaining. The pill is a good pill, but why are we all running at the same time? At this moment, a cultivator silently asked. Mad Kill, all the cultivators, that's right. When they finished swallowing the healing pills, their injuries were completely healed. However, there was a large amount of energy left in their bodies. This huge amount of energy forced them to run. They were completely out of control and couldn't stop at all. F***, fellow Taoist crazed killer, how much longer do we have to run for? Maybe we have to wait for the effects of the pill to subside, but the effect of this drug is really F***king strong. Ah, fellow Taoist Ning is cheating us. Under the setting sun, 300 people were sweating their youth in the Big Dipper secret realm. Inside the Big Dipper pagoda. Husband, what did you throw out just now? Luo Wuqing glanced at Ning Tian and asked. Oh, the enhanced version of the healing pill, but it's still an experimental version. There should be a little side effect, but it shouldn't be a big problem. It's just a little. Ning Tian chuckled. What kind of bad intentions could the ancestral master have? He was just treating them as lab rats while helping them heal. Hee, I just don't know if it's a little or 100 million. Right, Sha Tian? Sui Weiyao looked at Ning Tian playfully. Roar. Seal Flame Lion King roared in agreement. Based on Master Lion King's understanding of the ancestral master, if the ancestral master mentioned a little, it would definitely be 100 million. However, before he could finish speaking, he heard Ning Tian's words. But fortunately, we have Huang Sha and the others. Otherwise, we would have experimented on Sha Tian, right? Sha Tian. Ning Tian looked at the Lion King with a smile. The Lion King was so scared that it nodded repeatedly. Roar. The ancestral master's little was just a little. Master Lion promised. Sui Weiyao said, Sha Tian, if you're being held hostage, blink your eyes. The Lion King blinked frantically. Okay, follow me into the Big Dipper Tower. Ning Tian looked at the Big Dipper Tower. When he asked Huang Sha and the others to dig the trap, he observed the Big Dipper Tower. Although he seemed to be resting on the legs of the two women, his divine consciousness had secretly peeped at the Big Dipper Tower. The Big Dipper Tower wasn't high. It only had 6 floors. According to what Madman and the others had said, every level of the Big Dipper Pagoda possessed the Heavenly Tao's might, and the Heavenly Tao's might would grow stronger with each level. If one wanted to enter the next level, one had to defeat the guardian of that level. I have a plan, but we need to act quickly. Ning Tian stroked his chin as a smile appeared on his face. What plan? Hearing his words, the two women couldn't help but be stunned. Although they didn't know what the plan was, they knew that someone was going to suffer. You'll know soon. Ning Tian smiled mysteriously. Then, he looked at the two women and said, Honey, don't use any spiritual qi later. I will let my spiritual qi envelop you. Then, we can ignore the heavenly Tao's pressure. Since they wanted to be fast, they had to move quickly. The existence of the heavenly Tao pressure would seriously affect their speed. But fortunately, Ning Tian had his own way to solve it. Okay. Luo Wuqing frowned slightly, but when she saw Ning Tian's serious expression, she nodded slightly. Hubby, what are you doing? Su Yueyao asked while withdrawing from the fox demon form. The demon's aura could still attract the attention of the heavenly Tao pressure. You'll know soon. Ning Tian smiled and quietly approached the two women. He squatted down and carried the two women on his shoulder. Spiritual energy immediately enveloped the two women. Are you ready? We're going to set off. Roar. The ceiling flame Lion King was confused. Then what about me? I almost forgot about you. You can't blame me for this. Your presence is too weak. Ning Tian glanced at the ceiling flame Lion King and said indifferently, You just need to hug my leg. Roar. The ceiling flame Lion King roared and hugged his leg silently. Then we'll set off. Ning Tian smiled and carried the two women with a pendant. He directly rushed to the first floor of the Big Dipper Tower. His speed was astonishing. Don't ask why he was so fast. If you asked why, it was because he practiced in the past. In the deepest part of the first floor of the Big Dipper Tower, three figures looked ahead with a trace of seriousness in their eyes. The guardian of the first floor is about to come out. I wonder what realm the guardian of the first floor will be. Ning Tian looked ahead and a faint light flashed in his eyes. The two women behind him also circulated their spiritual energy and got ready. Boom. Suddenly, there was a roar. The wall of the first floor kept fluctuating. A huge object stepped out of the void and appeared in front of the three. This is... Ning Tian frowned. I'm a little bit stuck. I'll make up for it tomorrow. Sorry. Chapter 595. Before them, it was a monster with 3 heads and a human body. It was dozens of meters tall and was covered in pitch-black flames. The red eyes on its 3 heads were fixed on Ning Tian's group, and a powerful aura flowed out of it. 3-faced true demon. A demon expert? I didn't expect the first floor to be guarding a demon that's long gone. Ning Tian's eyes fell on the 3-headed monster, and a faint light flashed through his eyes. It wasn't the true body of the 3-faced true demon, but merely a projection projected by the Big Dipper Pagoda. 8-star ancestor god realm. It seems he can't stop us. Ning Tian circulated his spiritual energy and said to the two women and the Lion King, Honey, let's end this quickly. But leave the final blow to me. Okay. Luo Wuqing and Su Yueyao nodded slightly. The Lion King beside them also transformed to dozens of meters in size. Roar. The 3-faced true demon didn't seem to have much intelligence. Its scarlet eyes were filled with endless killing intent. It roared. He stomped his foot on the ground and appeared in front of Ning Tian in an instant. Then, he threw a punch at Ning Tian, which was filled with boundless demonic qi. His fist tore through the air and came at Ning Tian. Not bad, but you're just a little bit slower than me. Ning Tian chuckled. He didn't panic at all. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, the 3-faced true demon's fist landed on Ning Tian's body, but the strange thing was that the fist passed right through Ning Tian's body. Roar. The 3-faced true demon roared. It was an afterimage. Big guy, behind you. Ning Tian's teasing voice sounded. The 3-faced true demon turned around, but at that moment, its 3 pairs of eyes saw a wisp of blue energy that froze the surrounding air. Cold Goddard, freeze. Ning Tian whispered. At that moment, the law of ice erupted from his hand. The energy that was so low that it was freezing poured out. Boom. Crack. Crack. In the blink of an eye, the 3-faced true demon's body began to emit an icy aura as its body began to be restricted. Honey, let's go. Kill him while he's down. Ning Tian yelled as he drew his scarlet heaven sword and slashed at the three-faced true demon. Yes. The two women nodded and attacked the three-faced true demon with all kinds of moves. The pitiful three-faced true devil's strength was only at the 8th star of the universe enlightened ancestral god realm. Even if it was a one-on-one battle, it wouldn't be a match for the three of them, let alone being ganged up on by three monstrous geniuses. It was utterly unable to resist them at all. Boom! A heavenly flame fell from Luo Wuqing's jade-like hand. Roar! The three-faced true devil let out a blood-curdling shriek. Its demonic flames wanted to resist the heavenly flames, but how could ordinary flames fight against heavenly flames? Soon, the three-faced true devil's gigantic body was engulfed by the heavenly fire, and it let out a series of miserable shrieks. Wife, be gentle. Don't burn him to death. Seeing this scene, Ning Tian hurriedly reminded him. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing, Luo Wuqing said indifferently. It's about time. Looking at the three-faced true devil that was on its last breath, a black light flashed in Ning Tian's eyes. He looked at the struggling three-faced true devil and raised his hand slightly. A black light flickered in his hand. It was death. Death. Deprive. Ning Tian's indifferent words fell. The red light in the three-faced true devil's eyes dissipated in an instant, and its struggling body fell into the heavenly fire. Husband, what are you doing? Seeing this, Sui Weiyao cast a puzzled look at him. Since they were going to kill him, why didn't they just take the three-faced true devil's life? Why did they have to do something so unnecessary? Little wife, don't forget the characteristic of my law of death. Ning Tian grinned. Characteristic? Sui Weiyao was stunned. She also mastered the law of death, but she hadn't realized this characteristic yet. It's resurrection. At the side, Luo Wuqing said indifferently.
Yes.
It's resurrection. Ning Tian chuckled. His gaze fell on the three-faced true devil's body. As long as it's a creature under the will of the heavenly Tao and under my law of death, I can resurrect it. According to Senior Sister, if the guardian of the Big Dipper Tower dies, it will be resurrected half an hour later with the help of the tower's power. And the resurrected guardian will be even more powerful. I can't wait half an hour. But what if it's resurrected in seconds? If I kill it a few hundred times, how much stronger will it become? Don't forget that there's still a group of people who haven't come to the Big Dipper Tower yet. His voice faded. Ning Tian showed a kind smile. Hearing this, the two women were stunned for a moment. When they understood, their beautiful eyes flashed. If that was the case, it was equivalent to increasing the difficulty by countless times. Even if the later challengers had the strength to defeat the Guardian, they would have to waste a lot of time. With this time, they would be able to reach the 6th floor. By the time they reached the 6th floor, the heavenly Tao treasure would have already fallen into their hands. This move, it was simply amazing. Haha, Ning Tian chuckled. The life force slowly appeared in his hand. What kind of evil intentions did the ancestral master have? He was just using the bug in the law of death to help these cultivators increase the difficulty of the trial. After all, only by increasing the difficulty of the trial would they have a chance to become stronger. Boom! The life force in his hand erupted. The three-faced true demon, which had lost its life force, appeared once again. Its blood-red eyes flickered as it looked at them again. Roar! It roared. It had no idea that it had just disappeared. It also didn't know that it was the three people in front of it that made it disappear. It directly charged toward Ning Tian's group.
It's indeed stronger.
It should be fine after a few hundred more times. Wife, let's end this quickly. Ning Tian narrowed his eyes. After sensing the three-faced true demon's strength, the corners of his mouth lifted slightly. The three-faced true demon's strength had indeed increased. It seemed that his little bug was still effective. Okay. The two women nodded slightly. At the side, the flame-sealing Lion King couldn't hold back anymore. It bit down. What followed next was a series of inhumane screams. Die. Roar. Live. Roar. Sinai. Roar. Live. Die. After a few hundred rounds. Roar boom. Ning Tian's group used a few hundred rounds to kill the three-faced true demon. From the initial insta-kill to the current few hundred rounds, it was enough to show that the three-faced true demon was getting stronger. In fact, as the three-faced true demon's strength increased, its body also grew from a few meters to 100 meters. Hee hee. Now that we're strong enough, let's wait for it to revive the Big Dipper Tower. Let's go to the second level. Ning Tian wiped the sweat off his forehead and led the two women and Lucky Charm to the second level. He would repeat the same trick on every subsequent level. During the half an hour of revival, he didn't have to worry about anyone entering because those who didn't defeat the Guardian wouldn't be qualified to enter the next level. On every subsequent level, as the Heavenly Tao's aura grew stronger, the Guardian's strength also changed continuously. It was because of Ning Tian's actions that the group of cultivators who entered the tower were dumbfounded. On the first level of the Big Dipper Tower, a group of cultivators entered the Big Dipper Tower. Judging from their attire, they seemed to belong to the same sect. Senior brother, what happened outside the Big Dipper Tower? Many cultivators are lying on the ground with a look of despair. There are also a few hundred people running wildly under the setting sun. Among the group of cultivators, a petite junior sister looked at her senior brother and asked curiously. Around them, the group of disciples also looked at them in confusion. Among them, only their senior brother had been to the Big Dipper secret realm before. What was happening outside left them at a loss as to what to do. Some cultivators were dancing, some were pretending to be idiots, some were lying on the ground, and some were wailing like ghosts while running wildly under the setting sun. It was simply too strange. The senior brother frowned. He didn't know what to say. What was going on? He didn't know at all. When he first came to the Big Dipper secret realm, the situation wasn't like this at all. Why did he feel that the Big Dipper secret realm was different? However, when he saw the curious look on his junior brothers' and sisters' faces, he could only let out a dry cough. Ahem. Well, this should be the Big Dipper Tower's method to stop them. They're too weak. That's why they fell for it. Is that so? If that's the case, doesn't that mean we're very strong? The junior sister blinked her eyes. Ahem. Yes, we're very strong. The senior brother nodded calmly. Then, he continued, all right, let's head to the Big Dipper Tower. I'm familiar with the monster on the first level. It's a three-faced true demon. With our strength, we should be able to defeat it. Oh yeah, the disciples cheered. The senior brother shook his head helplessly when he saw this. He was following his master's instructions to bring his junior brothers and sisters who had never left the ivory tower to experience the cruelty of the outside world. The Big Dipper Tower was a very good choice. With my strength, I should be able to bring them up to the third level. That should work, the senior brother muttered to himself. The large group of cultivators arrived at the deepest part of the first level of the Big Dipper Tower. Junior brothers and sisters, this is the guardian of the first level of the Big Dipper Tower, the three-faced true demon. The senior brother looked at his junior brothers and sisters and said slowly, Senior brother, is the three-faced true demon very strong? One of the junior sisters asked softly, Haha, it's not strong. It's only a few meters tall. Its strength is only at the 8 stars of the ancestral god realm. The senior brother chuckled and did not seem to mind at all. What a joke. He was a 1-star heavenly god after all. Would he be afraid of a mere three-faced true demon? Boom. At this moment, a loud explosion rang in the air. Roar. Then, with a roar, the three-faced true devil that Ning Tian had killed hundreds of times appeared behind the eldest senior brother. Oh, it's here? The senior brother's lips curled into a faint smile. He did not seem to be afraid at all. Duh, 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 duh. Day, however, when the junior brothers and sisters saw the three-faced true demon, their expressions changed drastically. A hint of fear flashed in their eyes. Even the corners of their mouths were trembling from fear. Why are you so afraid? Isn't it just a few meters tall? You call that huge? It's just a three-faced true demon. Watch me kill it with a single move. The senior brother smiled disdainfully and slowly turned around. Before their eyes, it was pitch black. Where's the three-faced true demon? The senior brother frowned. Look up, look up. Behind him. The junior brothers and sisters whispered, Look up? The senior brother frowned and looked up. The moment he looked up, his expression changed from disdain to ghastly pale. Holy shit, what the hell is this? Why is the three-faced true demon so huge? The senior brother was dumbfounded when he saw the three-faced true demon that was hundreds of meters tall. This, wasn't it just a few meters? Why did it suddenly grow to hundreds of meters? Come on, senior brother. Go. Behind him. The junior brothers and sisters cheered him on. Hee hee. The senior brother's lips curled into a forced smile. Then, he ran away. What the hell? Hurry up and run. He originally wanted to bring the junior brothers and sisters here to experience the dangers of the outside world. Great. He got to experience it again. Damn. Why is the Big Dipper Tower different? His cries echoed throughout the entire first floor of the Big Dipper Tower. Soon, more and more cultivators entered the Big Dipper Tower. When they saw the guardians on each floor, they fell into deep silence. According to the memories of the cultivators outside the Big Dipper Tower, at that time, they heard a desperate cry that echoed throughout the entire Big Dipper Tower. On the 5th floor of the Big Dipper Tower, Ning Tian and the others came to this floor early after helping the guardians on the other floors to increase their strength. There were no guardians on this floor. There was only a huge stone door that was close to 100 meters in size. On the stone door, there were all kinds of strange and ancient patterns on it. These vein patterns, if I were to connect them together, what would they look like? Ning Tian looked at the huge stone door and couldn't help but rub his chin. After an idea came to his mind, he moved and walked in front of the stone door. Husband, be careful. Seeing this, Luo Wuqing reminded him. Okay, it's fine. Ning Tian nodded slightly. Then, he raised his hand and condensed spiritual energy in his hand before it landed on the stone door. Boom. In an instant, the entire stone door shook violently. Then, a dazzling light erupted from the stone door. Ning Tian's spiritual energy lit up all the runes on the stone door. The runes lit up. This is a formation? Seeing this, Su Yueyao frowned. Her beautiful eyes fell on the stone door. After the patterns were lit up by spiritual energy, they became even more conspicuous. At a glance, it was obvious that this was a formation. It is indeed a formation. Ning Tian took a few steps back and looked at the stone door. Let me see what kind of formation it is. Activate the formation eye. When the eye of the array formation was activated, a golden light flashed in Ning Tian's left eye. He looked at the stone door and soon, the array formation on the stone door appeared in his eyes. Are they trying to break the array formation with an array formation? He muttered to himself. If he wanted to break the formation on the stone door, he would need another formation. One was a defensive formation, and the other was an offensive formation. If this is a defensive formation, where is the offensive formation? Ning Tian's gaze fell on the stone door. There was no doubt that the formation on the stone door was a defensive formation. The only way to break this formation was to break the formation. As long as the stone door was opened, they could enter the 6th floor. Then, they could obtain the heavenly treasure. They were only one door away from the heavenly treasure. Wait. Ning Tian's gaze fell on the stone door. As if he thought of something, his eyes flashed. What I saw through the divination technique before, could it be an offensive formation? With this thought in mind, Ning Tian observed the formation. The more he looked at it, the more he felt that it was possible. Honey, protect me. I might be able to break this formation. Ning Tian immediately sat down cross-legged in front of the stone door. Stars flickered in his hands. He was going to use the divine secret art to deduce the array formation that he had memorized in his heart. He only remembered the general appearance of the array formation. What he needed to do now was to deduce all the details. Okay. Hearing this, the two women nodded heavily. Huff. Fortunately, I just strengthened the strength of those guardians. Otherwise, I might not have the time. Ning Tian's eyes flashed with a bright light. If he was right, then he would do it step by step. The The stars in his hand flickered as he began to deduce. The two women quietly circulated their spirit energy and brought the sealing flame Lion King to guard by his side. As time passed, the stars in Ning Tian's hand gradually became brighter. One could vaguely see the embryonic form of an array formation appear in his hand. More than an hour later, the traces of the array formation in Ning Tian's hand became more and more obvious. And the more he deduced, the more he was sure that the formation he had deduced using the divination technique was the offensive formation needed by the stone door. Another half an hour. I'll be able to complete this deduction formation, Ning Tian muttered in his heart. He just didn't know if this half an hour would be peaceful. After all, more and more cultivators were heading towards the 5th floor. Boom. At this moment, a rumbling sound came from the entrance of the 5th floor. Damn it. What kind of broken thing is this? How did the guardian of the Big Dipper Tower become so strong? A cursing voice rang out. A burly man ran out from the entrance. He was in a sorry state, and it was obvious that he had gone through a great battle. Tian Kuang, it seems that your strength is not as strong as you said. A young girl's cold snort sounded from the side. Humph. Nonsense. Do you think you can see through my strength? Lu Yu. The burly man named Tian Kuang sneered. Stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and find the entrance to the 6th floor. Otherwise, those demons will catch up. The girl named Lu Yu snorted and hurriedly said to Tian Kuang, and those demons are really annoying. Tian Kuang nodded and frowned. We should be the first cultivators to step into the 5th floor, right? It seems that everyone's speed is quite fast. At this moment, a cold laugh sounded from the side. A young man with a folding fan in his hand walked out. He was dressed in luxurious clothes. It was Long Ao, who had entrusted the will of 9 generations of people. The Long family of the Western Wilderness Starfield? Seeing Long Ao, Tian Kuang and Lu Yu frowned. I didn't expect that the Tian family of the Eastern Prison Starfield and the Lu family of the Southern Cold Starfield would join forces. This is something I didn't expect. Long Ao waved his folding fan and chuckled. Humph. Hearing this, the two of them coldly snorted. Boom. At this moment, a terrifying demonic chi attacked. The three of them quickly flashed and dodged the demonic chi attack. I didn't expect that you guys could still dodge my attack after going through such a great battle. Although not all forces came to the Big Dipper secret realm, I didn't expect there to be a few with decent strength. At this moment, a faint laugh sounded. In the terrifying demonic chi, a black-clothed young man with red eyes appeared in front of the three of them. Demons? Long Ao frowned. The demons have always been despicable. Today, I see that it's true. Lu Yu sneered. Her beautiful eyes were filled with disdain. Despicable? This isn't despicable. It's just taking care of some opponents appropriately. The blood-eyed demon god spread out his hands and said lightly, Humph, demon god, I advise you to calm down. Everyone was injured on the 4th floor. The heavenly Tao's pressure on the 5th floor is even stronger. If you use the demonic chi recklessly, the heavenly Tao's pressure will double. Let's see how you'll get the heavenly Tao's treasure. Tian Kuang snorted and looked at the blood-eyed demon god. The guardian on the 4th floor was extremely strong. They had also paid a hefty price to come to the 5th floor. There should only be 4 of us in the entire 5th floor? Long Ao frowned slightly. You guys, can you be quiet? You're disturbing my husband. At this moment, an indifferent voice sounded. There's someone else? Hearing this voice, Long Ao and the others' faces changed slightly. Then, they looked towards the direction of the voice and saw a huge stone door shining with golden light. There were a few figures in front of the stone door. What? They actually came so quickly? Seeing Ning Tian and the other two, the 4 of them had a slight change in expression and fear flashed in their eyes. The thing that entered the 6th floor? It's actually an array. This guy is trying to crack the array. The blood-eyed demon god's gaze fell on Ning Tian. He looked at the shimmering lines on the stone door and then looked at Ning Tian. He immediately understood what Ning Tian was trying to do. Crack the array? If we crack the array, we can enter the 6th floor? Hearing the blood-eyed demon god's words, the surrounding people's faces changed. Then, their eyes flashed and they all had their own plans. If Ning Tian was cracking the entrance to the 6th floor, wouldn't they be able to take the opportunity to enter? I told you to be quiet. Didn't you hear me? Luo Wuqing looked at the four of them indifferently. Her beautiful eyes flashed with coldness. You, who do you think you are? Lu Yu snorted coldly. Her pair of eyes fell on Luo Wuqing. Her eyes narrowed, and her pair of silver teeth clenched. There was a trace of envy in her eyes. The two women in front of her, regardless of appearance, temperament, or even the simplest and most violent figure, were many times better than her. These two people are so familiar. Long Ao frowned. Looking at Luo Wuqing and Sui Weiyao, he felt that he had seen them before. After all, his attention was on Ning Tian before. Hearing this, Luo Wuqing's beautiful eyes flashed with coldness. She directly slammed her palm towards Lu Yu. Boom! The palm carried endless heavenly fire. Heavenly God Realm? Lu Yu also struck out with her palm. However, after this palm strike, she quickly realized that something was wrong. The power of this palm strike was actually far above hers. Suddenly, she took a few steps back. Why didn't you suffer any injuries? Obviously, the strength of the 4th floor's guardian is far from being easy to deal with. Lu Yu gritted her silver teeth and looked at Luo Wuqing with an unwilling face. If it wasn't for the strength of the 4th floor's guardian that caused her to suffer some injuries, she was confident that she wouldn't be afraid of this woman in front of her. Seeing this scene, the three people beside her all frowned. The guardian of the 4th floor was indeed difficult to deal with. They were more or less injured, and the 5th floor had the existence of the heavenly Tao's pressure, so it was difficult to exert their full strength.
Haha.
Everyone, let's not argue first. If it causes the heavenly Tao's pressure, then the gains will not make up for the losses. At this moment, the blood-eyed demonic god pretended to be a good person. Well, why don't we wait for this fellow Taoist to open the entrance to the 6th floor? When the time comes, when we go to the 6th floor, we can take it slow. Now, the only one who could open the stone door was Ning Tian. If they disturbed him and caused him to fail, then no one would open the stone door and they wouldn't be able to enter the 6th floor. That was simply not worth the loss. I think what the demonic god said makes sense. Long Ao also said slowly. Humph. Seeing this, Tianquang and Lu Yu could only choose to give up. However, Luo Wuqing and Sui Weiyao frowned slightly. Their husband did not open the stone door for them to enter together. Just as the two of them were about to take action to deal with the four of them, Ning Tian's voice entered their minds. Wife, don't worry about them. I have my own way to deal with them. Hearing this, Luo Wuqing and Sui Weiyao could only give up and quietly guard Ning Tian's side. Long Ao and the other three did not cause trouble. They all knew that if they wanted to enter the 6th floor, they had to rely on Ning Tian. If they were to cause trouble at this time, wouldn't they be going against themselves? Thus, they chose to cultivate on the spot and take the opportunity to recover from their injuries. All of a sudden, the originally hostile 5th floor suddenly became peaceful. On the stone door, the light of the formation dissipated bit by bit. It could be seen that the defensive formation was being broken bit by bit under the activation of Ning Tian's formation. It's about to open. Seeing this scene, the blood-eyed demon god narrowed his eyes slightly and the demonic aura in his body quietly flowed out. Around, the gazes of the three people who were sitting cross-legged also turned serious. Everyone's gaze landed on the stone door. Once the stone door opened, they would shoot out at the fastest speed possible. Whoever reached the 6th floor first, the heavenly treasure would most likely belong to them. Kacha. Boom. The formation on the stone door shattered bit by bit. Kacha. Kacha. A sound came from the heavy stone door and a bit of light came out from the stone door. It's coming. The blood-eyed demon god's eyes lit up. The three people around him were like arrows on a bow. As long as the light expanded, they would instantly shoot out. Boom. When there was a gap in the stone door that allowed one person to enter, the four of them instantly shot out. Everyone, why are you in such a hurry? At this moment, a chuckle sounded. They saw A figure appeared in front of the stone door and blocked the four of them in front of the door. Get out of the way. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. The demonic aura in the blood-eyed demon god's body surged as the three people beside him looked coldly at Ning Tian. You can step aside. However, I wonder if any of you have experienced what it feels like to be pressured by the heavenly Tao? Ning Tian smiled as he looked at the four of them. At this moment, the two women and the fire-sealing Lion King were already leaning against him. What do you mean? The four of them were stunned as they suddenly had a bad premonition in their hearts. It's literally what it means. Ning Tian chuckled. At this moment, Luo Wuqing raised her jade-like hand and directly used all the spiritual energy in her body. Boom! It seemed to have detected the existence of spiritual energy. Suddenly, a huge gravitational force pressed down on the fifth floor. Immediately, the four of them found it difficult to breathe. The gravitational force pressed down on them, making it difficult for them to move. Heavenly Tao's pressure? Are you crazy? Attracting the Heavenly Tao's pressure. Aren't you also having difficulty moving? Long Ao's expression was ugly as he looked at Ning Tian in confusion. Damn it, are you stupid? With the Heavenly Tao's pressure, it's like stopping every 2 steps. If you want to enter the 6th floor, it's simply a waste of time. Blood-eyed demonic god scolded. Looking at the entrance to the 6th floor, it was right in front of them, but it was so far away. Oh, stopping every 2 steps? Looking at the four of them unable to move an inch forward and bearing the Heavenly Tao's pressure, Ning Tian could not help but smile. He raised his hand and pressed down on the four of them. Boom! He immediately activated the gravity trap that he had set up earlier. Suddenly, it was as if Mount Tai was pressing down on them. Blood-eyed demonic god and the other three's expressions turned even uglier as their bodies were completely immobilized. Now, it should be stopping every step. No need to thank me. Ning Tian said with a smile. You %yin%. Seeing this, blood-eyed demonic god and the other three immediately scolded. Kid, you attracted the Heavenly Tao's pressure. Even if you trap us, it's just a waste of your time. Let's see who can withstand the Heavenly Tao's pressure and enter the stone door first. Tian Kuang snorted coldly. Heavenly Tao's pressure? What's that? Ning Tian shrugged, then generously held the two girls' hands. After the flame-sealing Lion King shrunk, he hugged his thighs and strode towards the 6th floor in front of the four of them. That relaxed look showed that he was not restricted by the Heavenly Tao's pressure at all. What? Blood-eyed demonic god and the other three were dumbfounded, but they could only clench their teeth and stare at Ning Tian and the rest as they walked towards the stone door. You have shocked blood-eyed demonic god and the other three. Reward. Mutation. Mutation? Ning Tian was stunned for a moment as a tinge of doubt flashed across his eyes. However, now was not the time to check. He could only keep the so-called reward and walk towards the stone door with the two girls. That was why he did not let the two girls attack the four of them. There might be risks in attacking, but there was no risk at all. Since there was no risk in getting rid of the four of them, why should he take the risk? You're the heaven-demolishing patriarch? When the flame-sealing Lion King changed its body, Long Ao seemed to have thought of something. No, I am the Heavenly Palace's patriarch. Ning Tian smiled at Long Ao. At this moment, the group stepped into the 6th floor. God, Heavenly Palace's patriarch? Long Ao was stunned. Boom. At this moment, under the unwilling gazes of the four, the stone door once again slammed shut. No, Long Ao growled. He had not even fought with the Heavenly Palace's patriarch and was already in a state of complete defeat. The 6th floor. It was a pitch-black place. When Ning Tian and the rest stepped in, there were specks of starlight in the darkness. Is this the 6th floor? The last floor of the Big Dipper Pagoda. Ning Tian and the rest looked around, only to see that above their heads, 7 bright stars were lit up. The Big Dipper 7 stars illuminated the top of the 6th floor, unusually bright. Husband, look. Luo Wuqing pointed in front. He saw, in the middle of the 6th floor of the Big Dipper Pagoda, a black hexagonal object was suspended in the air. That is, Ning Tian walked over to take a look and felt a wave of spatial energy from it. He could not help but be overjoyed. This is the heavenly Tao treasure, the law of space. Law of space? Is this the law of heaven that senior sister and the others want my husband to master? Luo Wuqing and Sui Weiyao looked over, and the flame-sealing Lion King also looked at the black object curiously. What it contained was the power of the law of space. Yes, although I don't know what senior sister and the others are going to do, this law of space is a good thing. Ning Tian nodded slightly and walked over. Let me first grasp the comprehension of the law of space, then let's see what else is on the 6th floor. Ning Tian slowly walked over. The black object was right in front of him. Is this the law of space? Ning Tian muttered and was about to raise his hand. But at this time, in his mind, the system's voice sounded. Mutated use. The host has mastered the law of space. Hearing this, Ning Tian could not help but frown and slowly typed out a question mark. Just like that, it's over? Mutation begins. At this moment, in his mind, the system's voice sounded again. The black object in front of him shook violently, and then the void began to change. A boundless suction force instantly erupted from the black object, and the surrounding space began to undergo a powerful change. In an instant, that powerful suction force erupted, and the space began to rotate. It was as if the ticking of a clock could be heard. What the F***CK? What is this thing? Ning Tian cried out in alarm, and his body was sucked in uncontrollably. Husband? The two women's faces changed. They turned their heads abruptly, but there was no trace of Ning Tian. In the entire 6th floor, other than the two women and the flame-sealing Lion King, there was no trace of Ning Tian. Mutation. End. Chapter 596. Mutation. End. In his mind, the system's voice sounded. Ning Tian's vision fell into darkness. What followed was darkness. His consciousness was also gradually blurred. His body seemed to be constantly being pulled by the distortion of space. System, damn you. As his consciousness gradually fell into unconsciousness, Ning Tian cursed one last time. After an unknown period of time. Hey, brother, little brother, wake up? Wake up. What bad luck. I thought there was some treasure in this coffin. Damn it, it's actually a living person. I was happy for nothing. Tell me, why did a living person like you crawl into a coffin for no reason? While his consciousness was blurred, he seemed to hear a scolding voice by his ear. Fellow Taoist, if you still don't wake up, I'll take off your pants. Look at your clothes. Maybe I can sell them for a few spirit coins. I can't let my hard work go to waste. That voice kept ringing in his ear. In a daze, Ning Tian felt his lower body turn cold. Damn it, that bastard can't really take it off, right? He tried hard to open his eyes. He saw a guy lying in front of him. A pair of sinful hands were reaching for his pants. It was obvious that he was really going to take off his pants. Ning Tian subconsciously kicked out. Damn it, didn't you faint? Amidst a cry of surprise, the figure in front of him was kicked out. Where am I? Ning Tian sat up in a daze. He looked around. His surroundings were pitch black. There was a faint candlelight. It seemed like he was in a cave. Beside him, there was a square black object. That was a coffin? Ning Tian frowned. Her head hurt a little, and she could still hear the sound of dripping water. Hiss, damn it, this damn system. It can't be that I've transmigrated, right? Ning Tian cursed inwardly. If he had transmigrated again, then it would be interesting. There were still two beautiful wives waiting for him in the Tianqian continent. There was also a silly soul waiting for him to save. Firstly, let's first confirm if this is the profound sky continent. Ning Tian mumbled and raised his hand. As long as there was spiritual energy, he could guarantee that he was still in the Tianqian continent. He raised his hand slightly. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, there was no reaction. Ning Tian frowned. Are you kidding me? However, fate did not seem to be teasing him. After a few seconds, a thin strand of spiritual energy flowed out from the hollow of his palm. Looks like this is still the profound sky continent. My body is a little weak. Looks like I need some time to recover. Looking at the weak trace of spirit energy in his hand, Ning Tian let out a sigh of relief. It would be fine as long as he was still at the Tianxian land. Who would have thought that a brat like you would actually be able to kick me so far away with one kick? You are simply heartless. To think that I even rescued you from the coffin. At this moment, the voice that had been cursing beside his ear sounded again. Ning Tian turned his head and saw a middle-aged man standing at the side. He was dressed in black and had a little beard. He looked a little sloppy, but upon closer inspection, one could see that he was not bad-looking. Coffin? Ning Tian was stunned. He looked at the black coffin beside him, and his mouth twitched. He pointed at the coffin and looked at the middle-aged man. You mean, I escaped from this coffin? To be precise, I carried you out of the coffin. The middle-aged man corrected Ning Tian. He rubbed his hands and looked at Ning Tian with a smile. So, are you going to give me some benefits? However, Ning Tian did not pay attention to his words. He frowned and fell into deep thought. He was trying to sort out the ins and outs of the situation. He was still on the 6th floor of the Big Dipper Tower and was about to master the space law. Then, the system's voice sounded and the mutation began. Then, he was sucked into the endless black hole and appeared here. System, what are you doing? Ning Tian asked in his heart. The reason for all of this was definitely related to the system. System. Replying to the host, this has nothing to do with the system. Everything is due to the mutation. To be precise, the space law that you have absorbed has mutated. The space law has mutated? Hearing this, Ning Tian couldn't help but frown. Mutation? The space law? He pondered and suddenly seemed to have understood something. Could it be, I have mastered the time law, and the space law has mutated, and just now, I heard the sound of the clock. Could it be that I have mastered the space law by accident? The more Ning Tian spoke, the stranger his expression became. If it was really the space law, then he had traveled through time and space. He might have come to the past or the future. So, am I in the past or the future? Ning Tian's expression was a little ugly. He was unable to determine whether he was in the past or the future through the timeline, because some of the events in the history of the profound sky continent were all written in ancient books, and such things were mostly read by his 2 wives before they were told to him. At this moment, Ning Tian suddenly felt that studying was a very important thing. F***CK. Ning Tian cursed in his heart. This mutation was too timely, wasn't it? System, my wives didn't come, right? Ning Tian rubbed his head and asked in his heart. If Luo Wuqing and the others came, then it would be a little complicated. It would be too troublesome to find them in the Tianxian continent, where he did not know the future or the past. System, no, that's good. Ning Tian let out a long sigh of relief. If that was the case, then it was fine. If that's the case, use the space law and return to the timeline that belongs to me. Whether it was the future or the past, it was best not to break the balance easily. Although my body is still a little weak, it shouldn't be a problem to use the space law, right? Ning Tian murmured and prepared to use the space law. However, when the spirit energy circulated, something awkward happened. Inside his body, there was only an unknown tree and a few light balls. Death, time, heavenly fire, life, ice, space. Where's my space law? Ning Tian slowly typed a question mark. Replying to the host, your space law was only caused by a mutation. It was not completely mastered by the host. The host had already used the chance of the mutation to teach the space law. There is no more chance. The system said very considerately. Hearing this, Ning Tian's mouth twitched. I used it? Did I use it on my own accord? Without the space law, how can I go back? Ning Tian's old face darkened. He thought of an extremely serious matter. Whether he was in the past or the future, if he did not go back, the timeline he was in would definitely be affected. Time scissors, activated. Time scissors, After activating the time scissors, it can cut open the timeline and return to the timeline the host wants to return to. It can be used once. At this moment, in his mind, the system's voice sounded again. Time scissors? Ning Tian was stunned for a moment, and his eyes suddenly lit up. He suddenly thought of the pair of scissors that was quietly lying in the storage ring. It turned out that this was how to use it. Activate? How do I activate it? The current time scissors was not in an activated state. Only after it is activated can it be used to cut open the timeline. Well, the host has to find out by himself. The system said quietly, "System, come out. I promise I won't kill you." Ning Tian's face darkened. The system said, "Hey hey? What does hey hey mean? Forget it. I can only think about it first. Hey, little brother. I saved you from the coffin anyway. I should at least give you some benefits, right? If you don't even express it, it's too heartless." At this time, seeing Ning Tian in a daze, the middle-aged man curled his lips and said, "Save? I think you just want to rob the tomb, right?" Ning Tian rolled his eyes at the middle-aged man. "Cough, you're really heartless. Little brother, you don't have to be so straightforward. I'm just moving out the things of the predecessors appropriately. After all, it's a waste to bury them in the soil. This is called a reasonable transfer, right?" The middle-aged man laughed. "Oh, appropriate transfer?" Ning Tian raised his eyebrows slightly, and the corners of his mouth lifted slightly. He looked at the middle-aged man and said, "Have you heard of gaining something without risking anything?" Gaining something without risking anything? The middle-aged man was stunned. "Give me a medicinal pill that can restore spirit energy, and I'll tell you." Ning Tian spread his hands and said, "Medicinal pill that can restore spirit energy?" The middle-aged man frowned and suspiciously took out a pill and placed it in Ning Tian's hand. "Look carefully." Ning Tian took the medicinal pill and slightly sensed the effect of the medicinal pill. He looked at the middle-aged man with a smile and then swallowed the medicinal pill in front of him. In an instant, the spirit energy in his body surged. "Look, this is gaining something without risking anything," Ning Tian said with a smile. "Brat, are you playing with me?" The middle-aged man was stunned for a moment and then immediately reacted. "This isn't a trick. According to you, this is a proper transfer. You're transferring something that belongs to you to me. You don't even need it. What a waste." Ning Tian continued to smile. The middle-aged man. When he heard Ning Tian refuting him with his own words, he was suddenly speechless. "Heartless, this brat." The middle-aged man sighed slightly. After Ning Tian swallowed the spirit recovery pill given by the middle-aged man, the spirit qi in his body gradually recovered. He finally had enough spirit qi to open his storage ring. After swallowing the pill that he had refined a long time ago and feeling the spirit qi in his body recover, he breathed a sigh of relief. In this inexplicable place, there was no sense of security without spirit energy. "Phew. Uncle, no matter what, thank you for your help." After recovering enough spirit energy, Ning Tian slowly got up and said to the middle-aged man, "In any case, although this guy did not help much, he did not kill him when he was unconscious. This was already a great help." "Oh, I didn't expect a brat like you to say thank you." The middle-aged man raised his eyebrows. Obviously, in his eyes, Ning Tian had already earned the title of shameless. It was unbelievable that a shameless guy would say thank you. "Okay, I take it back." Ning Tian spread his hands. The middle-aged man was instantly stunned. "Tsk, this brat is really heartless. If that girl falls into your hands in the future, won't she cry to death?" He shook his head slightly in his heart. Soon, Ning Tian was doomed. Unfortunately, what he did not know was that Ning Tian's two wives were very happy. "Okay, uncle, we'll meet again if fate wills it." "Oh no, never again." Ning Tian stretched. He finally recovered a small spiritual C in his body. Although it was not much, it could be used. As soon as he finished speaking, his body moved, and he instantly shot outside. "Brat, don't run." Seeing this, the middle-aged man hurriedly stopped him. Unfortunately, it seemed to be a little too late. Ning Tian had already rushed out. "Sigh, if you don't listen to your elders, you will suffer." The middle-aged man shook his head slightly and sighed. Damn. Gulp, gulp. And Ning Tian, who had just come out of the tomb, could not help but exclaim. He saw. He was surrounded by seawater, and the so-called tomb was actually in the deep sea. The most important thing was that the seawater seemed to have a strange power. He could not use any spiritual energy in the seawater at all. Damn! This guy Tomb Raider. He came to the sea. Gulp, gulp. Ning Tian cursed in his heart. He could only rely on his body's instinct to swim to the surface of the sea, but his body still sank to the bottom of the sea. This seawater. Something is wrong. Brat, don't resist, follow me. At this moment, the middle-aged man's voice rang in his ears. He saw a hand grabbing his clothes, and then his body began to swim to the surface of the sea. The strange power just now seemed to have disappeared. On the coast. Puff. Ning Tian vomited a stomach full of seawater, and then looked at the middle-aged man beside him in embarrassment. Uncle, you did it on purpose, didn't you? Is it necessary to shake me in the sea a few times? Is it? The middle-aged man spread out his hands, and then looked at Ning Tian with narrowed eyes. Brat, you are really not afraid of death. This is the undying sea of the Southern Frost Star Sea. The seawater here can make spiritual energy disappear. If a cultivator does not have something to deal with it, he will definitely die if he falls into the sea. Southern Frost Star Sea? Undying sea? Hearing this, Ning Tian wiped the salty seawater from the corner of his mouth, and a trace of seriousness flashed in his eyes. When he came out of the tomb, he did not rush out rashly. He was indeed prepared. However, he did not expect that the hidden danger was in the sea. Brat, it seems that this is your first time in the Southern Frost Star Sea. Otherwise, you would have some common sense. The middle-aged man said indifferently. Hearing this, Ning Tian remained silent and did not say anything. It was indeed his first time in the Southern Frost Star Sea. He looked at the middle-aged man and said indifferently, I owe you a favor. A favor? The middle-aged man raised his eyebrows slightly and said with a smile, How about being my hired thug? No. Ning Tian rejected him without even thinking about it. Are you kidding me? You want me to be your tool? TSK, TSK. How heartless. You rejected me so decisively. The middle-aged man shook his head slightly and moved closer. He carefully observed Ning Tian from his face to his butt. He did not miss a single detail. You are quite handsome. Don't tell me you have some special fetish? Feeling the middle-aged man's gaze, Ning Tian instantly had goosebumps all over his body. Let's make it clear first. Not there. Brat, what are you thinking? The middle-aged man rolled his eyes at Ning Tian. How about this? Since you don't want to be my hired thug, then do me a small favor. How about it? A favor? Ning Tian raised his eyebrows and a glint flashed in his eyes. He looked at the middle-aged man and said, What favor? And who are you? Chapter 597. Brat, I think you're quite good-looking. How about this? The Skyfish dynasty in the Southern Frost Star Ocean is looking for a prince consort. Why don't you do me a favor and give it a try? The middle-aged man asked with a smile. Prince consort? That won't do. I already have a family. Ning Tian frowned and rejected him decisively. Sigh. Brat, don't be in such a hurry to reject me. Don't be so heartless. I'm only asking you to sacrifice your looks, not your body. Don't be so stubborn. I just need you to enter the palace and give me a map of the palace. Hearing Ning Tian's unwillingness, the middle-aged man hurriedly said, Map of the palace? You want to steal something? Ning Tian frowned. No, I just want to borrow it. Cough. The middle-aged man coughed dryly. Hearing this, Ning Tian weighed the pros and cons. He didn't know if he had come to the future or the past of the profound sky continent. It was better to follow this guy and figure out everything before leaving. Okay, I promise you. Ning Tian nodded slightly and looked at the middle-aged man. However, I'll only help you remember the palace. I won't help you with anything else. Hee, that's enough. The middle-aged man nodded and extended his hand with a smile. Let's get to know each other. I'm Qin Luo. Ning Buxu. Ning Tian hesitated for a moment and shook his hand. In the end, he didn't say his real name. Ning Buxu? You seem to be quite weak. Qin Luo muttered and glanced at Ning Tian. Ning Tian's mouth twitched. Stop talking nonsense and lead the way. Haha. Qin Luo laughed and took out a spatial artifact from his storage ring. Follow me. The Skyfish Palace is in the Skyfish region. It's quite a distance from the Undying Sea. The Skyfish region was indeed quite far from the Undying Sea. During this journey, Ning Tian didn't just recover the spirit energy in his body. He also tried his best to get some key clues from Qin Luo. He finally understood everything. Because of the existence of the space laws on the 6th floor of the Big Dipper Pagoda, it directly caused a change in space and time, causing him to travel through space and time. And now, he arrived at the southern frigid star region of the divine realm several million years ago. That was right. He didn't go to the future, but to the past. Millions of years ago. Deity territory. However, he didn't know the exact time. In order not to arouse Qin Luo's suspicions, he didn't ask too much. I didn't expect you to be a heavenly god. Ning Tian narrowed his eyes and glanced at Qin Luo. Haha, with my talent, is it really that hard to reach the heavenly god realm? The corner of Qin Luo's lips curled up as he smiled proudly. It's all right. It's just a little weaker than my talent. Ning Tian shrugged and said honestly. He didn't know why, but when he saw Qin Luo's proud expression, he really wanted to make Qin Luo angry. Qin Luo was at a loss for words. He could not help but laugh bitterly. You're really heartless. You're not giving me any face at all. Will you die if you don't act tough? Maybe, Ning Tian said with a serious face. Suddenly, Qin Luo, who was controlling the spatial artifact, suddenly trembled. The entire spatial artifact shook violently and almost flipped over. Uncle Qin, can you drive a little more steadily? I don't want to die young. I still have 2 beautiful wives at home. Ning Tian stabilized his body and hurriedly said, Bah, a kid like you has 2 beautiful wives? 2 of them? If you do, I'll write my name backwards. Qin Luo cursed and rolled his eyes at Ning Tian. Ha ha ha, Uncle Qin, then you might have to write your name backwards. It's not bad to call you Luo Qin. F*CKU. The two's laughter and curses came from the sky. On this trip, Ning Tian realized that the deity territory of millions of years ago didn't seem to have changed much from the deity territory he was in. On the spatial artifact. Uncle Qin, do you know about the dark turmoil? After a round of laughter and curses, Ning Tian looked at Qin Luo, who was controlling the spatial artifact in front of him and couldn't help but ask. Through the conversation along the way, he found that Qin Luo was quite talkative. The dark turmoil. Hearing this, Qin Luo was stunned. A glint flashed in his eyes. After a long silence, he said lightly, Kid Ning, don't mention this. This is taboo. It's a taboo topic. Do you understand? Taboo? Ning Tian frowned. He didn't quite understand. Why was the dark turmoil a taboo topic millions of years ago, but not so serious millions of years later? Did something happen in this era, or did something happen in the era he lived in? As the topic of the dark turmoil came to an end, on the spatial artifact, the two fell into silence. Ning Tian also took this opportunity to use the spirit key to recover the spirit chi in his body. A few days later, after the spatial artifact crossed an ocean, it came to a country by the sea. Here, it was the Skyfish dynasty. Kid Ning, we're here. Qin Luo controlled the spatial artifact to descend slowly and turned around. This kid is still cultivating? Qin Luo frowned. He looked at Ning Tian, who was sitting cross-legged and in a state of cultivation. He was not in a hurry to disturb him and simply waited at the side. At this moment, Ning Tian had recovered 7 spirit chi Cs in his body. At this moment, his aura also felt like it was about to break through. Congratulations, host, for breaking through. Current strength, 9 stars of the ancestor god realm. In his mind, the system's voice sounded. Although the space-time laws had used up all his spirit chi to travel, he did not expect to benefit from a disaster and rise by 2 stars. Phew. Ning Tian heaved a long sigh of relief and then slowly opened his eyes. We're here. Seeing Qin Luo sitting at the side and looking at him, Ning Tian raised his eyebrows and asked,
Yes.
We're here. Qin Luo nodded. Then, he put away the spatial artifact and walked toward the imperial city. Let's go. Let's enter the city first. What do you want to steal from the Skyfish dynasty? Ning Tian asked as she followed after him. Kid, keep your voice down. Seeing Ning Tian's expression, Qin Luo could not help but glare at him. Then, he continued, This is not stealing. This is borrowing. Moreover, that thing does not belong to the Skyfish dynasty in the first place. Hearing this, Ning Tian shrugged. He did not care who that thing belonged to. Now, he just wanted to return the favor to Qin Luo and then study how to accumulate energy for the time scissors, obtained in Chapter 607. Only after the time scissors had accumulated enough energy would he use the time scissors to return. Soon, the two of them arrived in front of the Skyfish dynasty. A group of guards was interrogating cultivators who wanted to enter the city. This is the mermaid tribe? Seeing the appearance of those guards, Ning Tian could not help but frown and squint his eyes. These guards had a human body and a fish tail. Weren't they the so-called mermaid tribe? Some readers are saying that they don't understand this plot. This is the space-time travel that Ning Tian underwent after obtaining the space-time laws in the Big Dipper Tower. He went to the past Tianqian continent. This plot is not empty. It is a necessary plot. The characters that appear are all extremely important. Also, the updates have been very slow recently. Sorry, I've been thinking too much about the plot. Chapter 598. No. Compared to the mermaid clan, they prefer to call themselves mermaids or heavenly fish. Qin Luo shook his head and corrected Ning Tian. I didn't expect you to know so much about the heavenly fish dynasty. Ning Tian glanced at Qin Luo and raised his eyebrows. Since we are going to borrow their things, we naturally need to have a sufficient understanding of them. Only in this way can we ensure that nothing goes wrong. The corners of Qin Luo's mouth lifted slightly as he smiled confidently, after which he moved closer to Ning Tian and lowered his voice. Little Ning, no matter what you see later, don't get emotional. Before we start, it's best not to act rashly. Qin Luo warned. Okay. Ning Tian nodded. Let's go. Follow me. Qin Luo patted Ning Tian and then walked toward the city gates. Ning Tian followed. Most of those who entered the Heavenly Fish Imperial City were from the Heavenly Fish Clan, or the Sea Demon Clan from the Southern Ocean Star region. Only a small portion of them were human cultivators. Through Ning Tian's observation, these human cultivators had to take out something for the Heavenly Fish Imperial City's guards to take a look before they could enter. What is that? Ning Tian frowned and asked.
It's a special pass.
Qin Luo glanced at them. However, we don't need those passes. Follow me. Okay. Ning Tian nodded and followed Qin Luo. Stop. When the two of them approached, a long spear that shone with a cold light immediately blocked their path. The two heavenly fish guards stared at them coldly, their eyes filled with indifference. Human cultivators, do you have a pass? No one is allowed to enter without a pass.
We don't have a pass.
Qin Luo looked at the two heavenly fish guards and said calmly. Hearing this, the two heavenly fish guards' eyes turned cold and they gripped the long spears in their hands. They looked like they were ready to attack at any moment. But we have the strength. Qin Luo's voice sounded again. He snorted coldly, and the aura from his body exuded a faint pressure. Heavenly God? Sensing the invisible pressure, the two heavenly fish guards' expressions changed. They instantly became respectful. So it's a heavenly god cultivator. Sorry for the offense. Please come in. Let's go. Qin Luo said indifferently. He brought Ning Tian with him and walked towards the imperial city. Human cultivators need to prepare special passes to come here, but celestial gods don't need so many rules. No matter where you go, strength is the best pass. Then, what is the special pass? Ning Tian frowned slightly. Look over there. Qin Luo raised his eyebrows slightly and pointed to a place in the city. Ning Tian frowned and looked over. He saw the human cultivator who had just obtained a special passwalk to a corner. Then, a special storage ring in his hand flashed, and a group of men, women, and children dressed in tattered clothes appeared in front of him. They were all wearing bracelets and anklets, like prisoners. Their eyes were dim, as if they had already lost all hope. Seeing this, Ning Tian frowned. These are slaves. Qin Luo looked over and said calmly, as if he was already used to this kind of thing. He said calmly, if these human cultivators want to enter Heavenly Fish Imperial City, they can only bring these human slaves in. Once these human cultivators enter Heavenly Fish Imperial City, these human slaves will be sold to the Heavenly Fish clan. The strong ones will be used as battle slaves. The good-looking ones will be used as tools. As for the elderly, most of them will be slaughtered. As for the children, they may become the Heavenly Fish clans. Hearing this, Ning Tian fell silent. His brows furrowed slightly, but they soon relaxed. It seemed like he didn't want to say anything. Oh? You don't have any reaction? Seeing this, the corners of Qin Luo's mouth lifted slightly. He couldn't help but look over. What reaction can I have? It's just the most common thing in the divine domain. The weak are prey to the strong, and only the fittest survive, Ning Tian said calmly. His eyes were as calm as water as he looked around. Do I have to save everyone? If I save one, they can hunt a second one. If this continues, there will be no end. The only one who can save them is themselves. As soon as he finished speaking, Ning Tian saw this scene. You're just a human ant. You're lucky that I've taken a liking to you. Don't take it for granted. A fat and rich Heavenly Fish Clan clansman slapped a slave girl's face as he cursed out loud. Smack! There was a crisp sound. The thin slave girl's body trembled. However, she didn't fall down. She raised her head and glared at the fat Heavenly Fish Clan member. Oh my! A human ant dares to glare at me? Come, beat her. Let her know what it means to be a slave. A slave should act like a slave. Seeing this, the fat Heavenly Fish Clan member was instantly enraged. He immediately ordered his subordinates to beat up the slave girl. Bang bang! The sound of punches hitting flesh rang out continuously. Seeing this scene, the slave girl trembled and curled up on the ground. She didn't even dare to breathe, afraid that the Heavenly Fish Clan member would beat them up too. It was obvious that they were scared. Both the cultivators of the Heavenly Fish Clan and the cultivators of the Human Clan watched this scene coldly. Bang! I'll beat you to death. You ant. Since you're a slave, you should be a slave. Damn it! You dare to resist? I'll F***CK you tonight. The fat Heavenly Fish Clan member couldn't help but sneer when he saw that the slave girl couldn't fight back at all. In the mud, the slave girl was covered in mud. Her already tattered clothes looked even more miserable at this moment. Her long hair was stained with mud. She was lying on the ground with blood all over her body. She looked like she was on the verge of death. She tried hard to lift her head. Although she was filthy, her eyes were exceptionally bright. Seeing this scene, Ning Tian narrowed his eyes. What kind of eyes were those? Her gaze swept across everyone around her, including the Heavenly Fish Clan's experts and the human cultivators of the same clan as her. However, from start to finish, there was no sign of help in her eyes. Perhaps, if she spoke, there might be human cultivators who would come to her rescue. However, she didn't. Oh my! Slave, where are you looking? At this moment, the fat Heavenly Fish Clan member scolded again. He kicked the slave girl as he scolded. Chapter 599. Bang, bang, bang. One kick after another. Sir Fatty, if you kick her again, she'll die. You won't be able to enjoy tonight. Seeing the slave girl getting weaker and weaker, one of his followers hurriedly reminded him. Humph. Useless. You're indeed a human trash. The Sir Fatty snorted and gave her one last kick. But, at this moment, the slave girl who was on the verge of death seemed to have regained her senses. She dodged the kick and grabbed the fat man's thigh and threw him hard. Boom. In the blink of an eye, the fat man was thrown heavily to the ground. No one expected this seemingly weak slave girl to explode with such strength in such a short time. At this moment, the slave girl rode on the Sir Fatty's body and scanned her surroundings with cold eyes. Plang. At this moment, a glittering ice blade landed in front of her. She was stunned for a moment and glanced at the smiling young man who threw the ice blade. Then, without any hesitation, she picked up the ice blade from the ground and directly slashed it at the fat man's neck. One slash. Blood spurted out. The fat man let out a miserable shriek, frightening the followers around him. Seeing that he was not dead after one slash, the slave girl gritted her teeth and gripped the ice blade in her hand tightly. She slid it over fiercely. You're just a slave. Why? To death. He could not believe that a mere human slave dared to kill him. She killed Sir Fatty. Seeing this scene, the surrounding servants finally recovered from their shock. No one dared to imagine that there would be a human slave in Heavenly Fish Imperial City who dared to kill their own master. Take her down. In an instant, the Heavenly Fish followers immediately surrounded her. Seeing this, the slave girl was on high alert. Holding the ice blade, she looked at the Heavenly Fish followers who were charging at her. Take her down. She dared to kill Sir Fatty. This kind of slave will be tortured by our Heavenly Fish Imperial City. A group of Heavenly Fish followers approached, their eyes filled with killing intent. Snap. But at this moment, there was a snap of fingers. Next, the expressions of the Heavenly Fish followers changed as black light flashed through their eyes. Then, they slowly collapsed under the gazes of the surrounding cultivators and experts of the Heavenly Fish clan. From the looks of it, they had clearly lost their vitality. The slave girl was stunned and clenched the ice blade in her hand. What are you waiting for? Run. At this moment, a voice rang out beside her. Then, a large hand grabbed her and shot forward in an instant. I'll go. Ningbrat, if you want to run, then run. Why are you dragging me along? There was an exclamation. The three figures instantly disappeared, leaving behind a group of dumbfounded people and a few cold corpses on the ground. Murder. Oh no. He escaped after killing the fish? Gasps could be heard all around. Heavenly Fish Imperial City, in a room of an inn. Motherf asterisk cur. What kind of lousy place is this? A room cost me 1,000,000 spirit coins. Motherf asterisk cur, you're a profiteer. Chin Luo cursed. It's only 1,000,000. It's not expensive. By the side. Ning Tian said indifferently. 1,000,000 spirit coins isn't expensive? How heartless. Ningbrat, how rich are you? If you're rich, why don't you pay for it? Chin Luo glared at Ning Tian a few times in annoyance and said, by the way, didn't you say that you won't help people? Motherf asterisk cur, don't tell me you've taken a fancy to that little girl? Please don't have such a strong taste. She's still a child. What are you thinking? Why would I be interested in that kind of brat? Ning Tian rolled his eyes at him and then said indifferently, it's just that when I saw this girl, I thought of an acquaintance. The desire to live in that pair of eyes reminded him of someone who had a strong desire to live. Back then, Reincarnation Dao God also saved Bai Lu who had a strong desire to live. An acquaintance? Chin Luo raised his eyebrows. Not everyone is worth saving, but some people are. Besides, I didn't help her much. I only gave her an ice blade. It's up to her to choose. Ning Tian said indifferently. Hearing this, Chin Luo was silent for a while and then said, where is she? Oh, on the bed. Maybe it's the final radiance of the setting sun that overdrew a little of her life energy. But since I helped, it shouldn't be a big deal. Ning Tian pointed to the side of the room. On the bed, a thin slave girl was lying on the bed. Her black hair was a little messy, and there was a trace of blood at the corner of her mouth. Her hand was still holding the ice blade tightly. Woo! At this moment, she let out a whimper and slowly opened her eyes. Awake? Ning Tian crossed his arms and looked over indifferently. Hearing the voice, the slave girl immediately became alert. Her eyes were cold as she looked at the two people in the room. Her small hand held the ice blade tightly. "What's your name?" Ning Tian ignored the slave girl's vigilance and asked indifferently. As soon as his voice fell, there was silence. After a while, the slave girl spoke. "Ling Ling? Good name. Where are your parents?" "Dead," Ling said indifferently. There was no emotion in her eyes, only a trace of coldness. "You like this ice blade very much?" Ning Tian glanced at the ice blade in Ling's hand that was formed from the law of ice. "I like it." Ling tightened her grip on the ice blade again. "Why?" "Because it can kill." This time, Ling's answer was without any hesitation. "Kill," Ning Tian murmured. The corners of his mouth lifted slightly into a mocking smile. "Killing requires strength. Not everyone is as weak as that fatty." "Strength?" Ling was stunned for a moment. She tightened her grip on the ice blade. "Strength, such as the one in your hand?" Ning Tian looked at Ling. However, before he could finish his sentence, he suddenly felt a strange energy emanating from Ling's hand. His expression changed slightly. "This is on the side." Qin Luo also looked over curiously. When he saw the change, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Holy shit, Ning boy, you've picked up a treasure. This is the cold god constitution? Holy shit, you couldn't have seen this girl's constitution long ago, right?" At the same time, in his mind, the system's voice sounded. "You've shocked Qin Luo. Completed the first task. Discovered the cold god constitution. Scissors of time energy completion. 20%. Countdown to completion. I've been busy for the past few days. Starting tomorrow, I'll return to normal." Readers who really don't think this part is interesting can temporarily stop for a few days. Wait for this part of the story to be over, and it'll be over. This part of the story is very important. I can't help it. If I write too much, I won't be able to understand it. What can I do? I'll just write according to my own outline. I don't care about the results. I just want to give this book a complete story. Chapter 600. Time Scissors Energy Collection Complete. Current 20%. In his mind, the system's voice fell. Hearing this sentence, Ning Tian couldn't help but be stunned for a moment, and at this moment, the time scissors that was quietly lying in the storage ring was already emitting a faint blue light, filled with the power of time. Completed event. Obtained 20% of the energy? Ning Tian froze on the spot, frowning, as if he was lost in thought. Ning brat, what are you in a daze for?" Seeing Ning Tian suddenly stop talking and looking very serious, the two people in the room couldn't help but feel a little puzzled. But Qin Luo tried to call out twice, but Ning Tian still didn't respond. At this moment, Ning Tian frowned, his expression serious. "If you say, I travel to the past, then my unintentional actions can change the future. This kind of behavior seems to be heaven-defying, but the instability is too great. If I'm not careful, even the things that should exist will be erased. If it's more extreme, even my existence will be erased by me. But I saved the spirit, but I gave the time scissors energy. According to the system's nature, it will definitely not cheat me. That is to say, what I did was right, and the meaning of time scissors is to promote the correct history. If that's the case, then it's not a coincidence that I traveled through time and space. In other words, that is, it's not my appearance that changed the future, but because of my appearance, there is a future." Thinking of this, Ning Tian's eyes couldn't help but flash a light, and suddenly understood the meaning of time travel. It was very likely that some things in the future were actually formed by his hands. However, the problem came. How could he judge that those things should be done by him? Host, just follow your heart. If you feel that you should do it, then it's right. The system's voice sounded at this moment. Follow your heart. Ning Tian murmured and nodded slightly. All right, understood. He took a deep breath, then looked at the spirit on the bed who was tightly holding the ice blade, and then looked at Qin Luo. Uncle Qin, you just said, cold god body? What does it mean? Brat, you don't know about the cold god physique? Hearing this, Qin Luo frowned slightly. He had thought that Ning Tian had saved Ling because he had taken a fancy to the cold spirit body and wanted to nurture it. No idea. Ning Tian shook his head slightly. He didn't know much about physiques. After all, he already had the strongest physique. Why would he waste his time to understand a weaker physique? In the Tianxian land, there are all kinds of physiques. Without a doubt, the strongest physique is the heavenly god physique, followed by the sacred sun divine physique, cold divine physique, and so on. Qin Luo spoke slowly as his eyes shone brightly. The reason why the sacred sun divine body and the cold divine body are so strong is because they can perfectly conform to the laws of heaven and earth. Those who can master the laws of heaven and earth have always been extraordinary people with boundless prospects. No wonder this girl was able to counterattack. Oh, conforming to the laws of heaven and earth? Ning Tian raised his eyebrows slightly and glanced at Ling. An idea popped into his mind. Hee, Ning brat, if you don't want to train her, why don't you give her to me? It just so happens that my sect is lacking geniuses. Qin Luo rubbed his hands and chuckled. He looked like a sly old fox. Who said I don't want to train her? Ning Tian said lightly, and then pushed Qin Luo out of the room. All right, Uncle Qin. I've decided to train this girl. You don't have to interfere. You should focus on preparing to steal things. I've already said that this isn't stealing. This is borrowing, bang. Before Qin Luo could finish his words, the door slammed shut. This isn't right. Damn you, Ning brat. I paid for this room, and you're kicking me out? Heartless. Outside the door, Qin Luo's cursing voice could be heard, but Ning Tian ignored it. He kicked Qin Luo out because he didn't want to expose the fact that he had mastered the laws of heaven and earth. After setting up a spiritual barrier around the entire room, Ning Tian walked to the bed and looked at Ling, who was holding the ice blade. He said expressionlessly, You just said that you like this ice blade? I like it. Ling nodded. Is that so? The corners of Ning Tian's mouth lifted slightly, and he waved his hand gently. The power of the laws of ice emerged from his hand. Next, the ice blade in Ling's hand melted instantly, turning into a pool of ice water that fell on the bed. You. Seeing this, Ling Yu gritted her teeth and glared at Ning Tian. What about me? This ice blade is formed from my power. Isn't it normal for me to take back my power? Or do you want to rely on my power? Ning Tian looked at Ling indifferently. As soon as he said this, Ling fell silent. Seeing this, Ning Tian couldn't help but smile. Ling was absolutely unwilling to rely on other people's power. It could be seen from the fact that she would rather be beaten than cry for help. Didn't you just hear it? You have the divine frost constitution. Then, you can rely on your own power to freeze this pool of water into an ice blade. Ning Tian pointed at the pool of ice water on the bed and said indifferently. Ling was stunned for a moment when she heard this. Then, a fighting spirit that refused to admit defeat ignited in her eyes. She looked at the pool of ice water and touched it with her small hand. Hiss! The moment she touched it, she couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. This was formed by Ning Tian's laws of ice. It was extremely cold, and not just anyone could touch it. This ice water is not ordinary ice water. You'd better think of. Ning Tian looked at Ling and reminded her in a faint voice. However, before she could finish speaking, she saw Ling inhaling a deep breath of air, as though she had made a decision. There was not the slightest fear in her eyes as she extended her hand towards the pool of icy water that was emitting a cold aura. Hiss! Her body trembled, but she didn't retract her hand. Even if her hand was purple from the cold, she still wanted to shape the ice into an ice blade. Oh? Seeing this, Ning Tian raised his eyebrows slightly, but his expression didn't change. Since you want to try, then give it a try, he said. Then, he closed his eyes and sat down cross-legged to cultivate. Beside his ear, the sound of Ling clenching her teeth in pain could be heard continuously. Several hours later, I did it. Beside his ear, there seemed to be a voice of excitement. Ning Tian raised his eyebrows and slowly opened his eyes. He saw Ling holding an ice blade. However, this ice blade wasn't as sturdy as the one Ning Tian had given her. This ice blade wasn't stable and was even dripping with ice water. It could melt at any time. Release one chapter first. There are two more. Chapter 601. The ice blade was unstable and could melt at any moment. However, Ling was not discouraged at all. Instead, her eyes shone with excitement. For the first time, a faint smile appeared on her filthy face. Her eyes, which were full of spirit, stared at the ice blade in her hand. Her hands, which were holding the ice blade, had long been frozen into purplish red. They were cracked and blood was flowing out. In fact, they were about to be frozen into ice. Ning Tian couldn't help but be a little moved after seeing this. Do you like this ice blade? Ning Tian asked again. Ling gripped the ice blade tightly and nodded heavily. Ning Tian looked at her. Why this time? Or is it because it can kill? Ling was silent for a moment. Then, she slowly shook her head. No. Power. It can give me power. Power. Huh? Ning Tian's lips curled into a faint smile. Then, in front of Ling, he gently waved his hand. Ling's ice blade, which was mixed with blood, turned into a pool of icy water once again. Seeing this, Ling was stunned. Ling was stunned for a moment. The results she had spent hours on had been destroyed by Ning Tian. She was clearly a little panicked. She moved her small, cracked hand, trying to form another ice blade. Ning Tian looked at her again. Ling had the frost god constitution. Logically speaking, she should be able to use an easier method to form an ice blade. He could only be the bad guy and let Ling master an easier method. In the midst of the panic, Ning Tian's voice rang out again. Why don't you try to sense the ice? Ning Tian said indifferently as she looked at the spirit that was frantically trying to condense another ice blade from the pool of icy water. Ling was stunned and looked at Ning Tian in confusion. However, Ning Tian did not explain further. He stopped here. The rest would depend on Ling's own comprehension. Sense the ice. Ling murmured and repeated Ning Tian's words. She raised her hand slightly. There seemed to be a little blue light gathering in her hand. Although it was small, one could vaguely sense a trace of coldness. Crack, crack. The sound of ice freezing could be heard from the pool of icy water. As expected of the descendant of the godly cold body, his talent is indeed not bad. Seeing this, Ning Tian's lips curled up in a smile. What he had given Ling was not a simple puddle of ice water. It contained a bit of comprehension of the laws of ice. As for whether or not Ling could comprehend it, that would depend on herself. However, now, it seemed that Ling did not disappoint him. This time, it seems to be a bit stronger. Ling looked at the ice blade in her hand, and a cold glint flashed across her eyes. She could vaguely feel that the chill emitted by the ice blade in her hand gave her a sense of familiarity, a sense of intimacy. Do you want to possess such power? Ning Tian looked at Ling and raised his hand slightly, emitting a dazzling blue light. Yes. Ling did not say a single word of nonsense. However, Ning Tian's next words stunned Ling undress. Ning Tian said indifferently. Spirit was taken aback. Even someone as indifferent as her couldn't help but be taken aback. After a while, her expression was indifferent as she pulled open her clothes. However, when she took off her clothes, Ning Tian had already turned around. Take off your clothes and turn your back to me. Okay, done. A rustling sound came from behind. Hearing this, Ning Tian turned around. At this moment, Ling had already taken off her clothes and was kneeling on the bed with her back facing Ning Tian. Ning Tian looked over. Her eyes were clear and did not contain any other emotions. To him, Ling was nothing more than a 15-year-old girl. If he had any thoughts about this little brat, then what was the difference between him and a beast? Hiss! His gaze fell on Ling's back. Her back, which should have been white and smooth, was now covered in scars. The marks of the various iron chains were simply shocking. Does it hurt? Ning Tian raised his eyebrows and asked. It doesn't hurt. Once you get used to it, it won't hurt. Ling's expression was indifferent as she said indifferently, "That's right. Just get used to it." But for a 15-year-old girl, how difficult was it to bear this kind of pain? It was a habit. How much blood and tears did it contain? "If you have the strength, what will you do?"
Ning Tian asked again.
"Make the Sky Fish Dynasty disappear, and let the Southern Frost Star Sea be under my rule," Ling said calmly. Hearing this, Ning Tian did not continue this topic. "Next, it may be a little cold. Bear with it." "Okay." Then, a wisp of ice appeared in Ning Tian's hand. The method he was using now was the method that senior sister Yishuang had taught him back then. It was not because this method was good, but because, although he had comprehended the law of ice, he did not have much time to further his study. So, he could only reluctantly let Ling feel the pain of the ice that he had suffered back then. A few hours later, "Good fellow. Ning brat, are you trying to freeze this room?" The door of the room was slowly pushed open, and Qin Luo walked in. Seeing that the room was almost filled with ice and that Ling was shrouded in ice, Qin Luo could not help but raise his eyebrows. "Kid Ning, even if you don't want this seedling, don't destroy her." "Destroy? This is not destroying. If you can't even bear this little bit of coldness, then you don't have to have this cold divine body." Ning Tian chuckled and shook his head. "You're really heartless." Qin Luo muttered and looked at the icicles above his head. "Forget it. You can do whatever you want. Just don't destroy this room. Otherwise, I can't afford to pay for it." "Don't worry. It won't." Ning Tian smiled. Before he could finish his words, crack, 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 the sound of ice breaking could be heard. Then, a terrifying energy emanated from the spirit that was completely enveloped in ice. "Damn it. It's going to explode." "Well, Uncle Qin, I'll run first. You stay behind." As his voice faded, Ning Tian's figure disappeared from the room like a wisp of smoke. Hiss, "Damn it, you stinking brat. Stop right there. Damn it, you ran away just like that. You're simply heartless. Stinking brat, you're so wicked. Whose daughter would fall into your hands? That's simply too unlucky." Seeing Ning Tian run away, Qin Luo immediately cursed. A few minutes later, an inn in the Heavenly Fish Imperial City was completely frozen by ice under the dumbfounded gazes of countless people. The inn was smashed into smithereens. Under the fierce gaze of the innkeeper, Qin Luo handed over tens of millions of spirit coins before taking Ling to an alley. In the alley, "Yo, you're finally here." Ning Tian leaned against the wall and took a bite of the apple in his hand as he looked at the two people walking towards him. "Stinking brat. Pay up." Seeing Ning Tian, Qin Luo's eyes turned red and he immediately rushed over. "No money. My money is in my wife's hands. I'm not interested in money." Ning Tian spread his hands, looking as if he had no money. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.